Hi, welcome to the show. Welcome back to Talking Reckless. It's episode 316. My name is Matt Eads. I'm joined by Andy Captain.
What's up, brother?
Kevin Byer.
What is up, brother?
I'm worried I have this music way louder than all of us, Brandon Lynch.
What up, sweet sister?
Welcome back to the show. It's episode 316. We didn't have Ward, unfortunately, the wrestling man himself.
Break the glass.
Yep. Shh. What do you say? What do you say last week?
With a chair.
Price check on a jackass.
Yep.
What? I broke a keyboard with the chair this week. Welcome to the show. We talk about video games. Gentlemen, I broke the shit out of a keyboard with a steel folding chair this week, and it was honestly the best day of my week.
That was by design?
Yeah, it was by design. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, got the chair all prepped, got a new keyboard.
It seems like it could have been accidental. I mean, you did stand up, flip the chair around, angle everything perfectly, and then bring the keyboard down with biblical wrath.
It was good. We're talking keys flying. Keys flying absolutely everywhere. I found a piece in the bathtub somehow, which means it flew down the hall and ricocheted 90 degrees off a wall. I really
pipes too.
Yeah, it must have. I broke the fucking shit out of a keyboard. It was good stuff. It was really good stuff.
What was your frame of mind? Were you frustrated? Were you testing something? Were you?
Yeah, it was the can this keyboard survive my wrath with steel chair test? So it was the keyboard I bought, and this is almost a PSA. There's a known issue with the Logitech 9G10. I don't know what they are. Sparks. The light up keyboard. They were on Spark, where the switches fail almost in a paranormal way mere months after the warranty falls off. And that is exactly what happened with mine, where the entire top rows of keys just stopped working. Just one day, just stopped working. So I smashed it to pieces, and that felt really good.
Yeah. What else you do? Can't let it survive.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And now I have this new Chinese keyboard.
Who uses the top row of the keys anyway?
Yeah, I mean,
F keys, they don't need those keys.
QWERTY and U, I, O, P, all the vowels except for A are on the top row.
Oh, you mean the top row of the actual letters, not
of the letters? Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's unusable.
Yeah, no, I could have got by with the F keys or whatever. And then I bought this.
Which row do you think is the most valuable row on the keyboard?
The home row. That's why they call it the home row. I think it's top. I think it's the top because you can type the word typewriter with only the top row. Typewriter. Yeah, I think the longest word you can type on a single row is typewriter. Ironically, on the top row.
The vowels got to count for something.
Yeah, but I mean,
you can lose the bottom.
You got all your good consonants in the middle row. You got your F, your J, your H.
Quality consonants. That's right. Like this quality podcast.
Hey, how about the numbers? Check out those numbers. What are you going to do without numbers?
Tell me about the numbers. So I got a new cheap one from China. And it doesn't have a / key, which I realized before we went live. It doesn't have a / vertical break key, which is not really a big deal.
What did you need it for? You're very devastated about that.
I use it in my stream titles. I like that vertical, that break. Or, if you look at Stream 12 right now, Talking Reckless 316, vertical line, a podcast about video games.
Did you just go copy it from somewhere else?
Yeah, I had to Google vertical break and copy paste.
Google it. I've done that before when I just can't find a key on the keyboard. I'll just be like, I'm just going to fucking Google it then.
Or you're trying to...
I fucking can't remember where the F is. Let's just go find... Go to Facebook.
Sometimes there's some of those weird odd ones. I just can't... I don't know. Sometimes it's just having a brain fart.
Sometimes you're trying to impress somebody and use an accent over an E, but I don't know how to type that.
Those are the main ones because some keyboards too, they don't actually have that function where you can activate it. So you got to kind of Google that stuff sometimes. That's why you go look up Beyonce when you need that accent.
The key's just not there. It's not moved somewhere else on the keyboard that just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I feel like I looked at every key. I have yet to really sit down and run the paperwork and see if I can find the key. Do the math.
It's probably Shift Control right arrow.
So this keyboard does have a function key, so it might be.
Oh, that's where it is.
Yeah, hidden functions somewhere. And it's got a couple Chinese characters on. There's on the plus and minus buttons. There are like just little, they look like crosswalk people, like the little people that you would see crossing across a crosswalk. And I don't know what that means, but one of them looks like
walk.
Yeah, one of them's
Never
running.
have to write the word walk again.
One of them is clearly running, and one of them appears to be maybe some kind of fighting stance. I don't know. Keyboards are whack. Also, it lights up. Look at that. You want to see that? And there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Ooh, and different colors too.
Yeah.
Mine's just all red. It's lame now compared to that. I want a new one.
I can make it breathe somehow.
Mine can change colors. I don't remember which button to press to make it happen though.
Look at that. Now it's breathing.
I think there's 3 different colors.
It's like it's alive.
Absolutely no idea how to do it though. I've had my same keyboard for like 8 years, I want to say.
That's why I found it a little hard to believe that a $200 keyboard would only last 26 months. And yet this like $15 piece of shit Microsoft keyboard I've had for 20 years, still going strong.
Yeah, I think I paid like $100 for my keyboard when I got it, and even when I bought it, I'm like, man, that is expensive for a keyboard.
Mm-hmm. But that is how I got to the smashing. Now you have the same through line, which led to me and my good friend the folding chair absolutely obliterating that keyboard. Oh, it was good. There's a dead monitor at Kevin's house that, I don't know, wouldn't it be fun maybe on May the 23rd, my birthday, to get myself a nice baseball bat and really just go to fucking town on a monitor?
That monitor might be gone.
What? Where'd you do that monitor? No, it's hidden away. It's hidden away downstairs. The one I brought. Yeah, the one that I brought one that we used for a week and then it kept turning off.
You hid it from Kevin?
I think so. Unless you like went, I don't think you went into the closet down there. You didn't take the foam off and like, yeah, it's hidden away. It's right next to the Nazi gold in the basement.
Whoa, let's not tell people about that.
Oh, sorry. Do I just have to say gold?
It's yeah, you just say gold. I think that's one of the algorithms is like if you say that someone has Nazi gold, then I'm going to have police knocking down my door, searching my house to get it reclaimed.
Some kind of a list.
It was Jewish gold.
Oh, well, yes, once it likely was. So I guess before we get started, some fantastic news. Very excited to announce, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin confirmed it earlier this week. Podcast Cat did survive another winter. Podcast Cat still with us. Made it through. Our boy, or possibly our girl, staying strong.
This is when it stops for a bit to look in.
I'm looking forward to another summer worth of it shitting in my front yard.
Yeah, woo! In the castle!
Podcast Cat!
Fuck that castle!
She's a queen!
That's right. You should be honored, Kevin. Honored.
We stand Podcast Cat, queen!
It's a privilege to clean up after Podcast Cat.
Do you know whose cat that is? Have you ever thought about, like, hucking those
it's gotta
turds
be like
at a
somebody
house?
Down the block. It's got to be someone on this block because I mean we have a field across the street, so there's really nowhere it's coming from that way, and then there's a field 1 street over that way as well, so 2 sides of it are field, and it usually comes in through the back alley, so I'm thinking somebody on either side of the alley is the owner of this cat. One of these days I'm just gonna trap it and like drop it off at a shelter. Be like, this cat is no longer my responsibility.
Well, that went 0 to like 100 immediately. What if before then, to figure out whose cat it is, you could, you'd have to do 1 a day, or like you have to wait for a response. But you could throw a cat turd at a house, like at a front door, like funk, and then they come out and like, what the fuck? I don't even own a cat. And then you're like, okay, sorry, not your house, and then just keep going down the street until someone's like, yeah, well, I knew this was coming one day. And we got him.
See, I think that is more disturbing for the innocent people than just making the cat disappear at some point.
Wow. More disturbing than that, huh?
Yeah.
Jesus.
If you drop it off at a shelter, they contact the owners, and the owners come pick it up, they pay a fine, and that's it.
Yeah, if it's like chipped. I don't actually know how that works. Do cats get chips in them or anything?
Yeah, most of them do.
Yeah. I don't think any of our cats
are just wild and belong to the world.
Yeah, this cat's definitely not wild.
No, it's got a collar. It's still super skittish though. Like the closest I've ever got to it was like 2 feet away or so, and it was like almost coming up to me, but then it turned away and ran.
Maybe it's because it knows on.
And from that day on, I've hated that cat.
Yeah, probably knows that on Fridays you talk about how you're going to drop that cat off at a shelter. So it's like, fuck this guy. Avid listener of the show, Podcast Cat, says, fuck this guy.
Wearing his little cat headphones. Fuck this guy.
Piece of shit.
I mean, I'm just worried that, Podcast Cat sleeps outside all the time. Maybe it's going to get eaten by Podcast Wolf at some point.
Podcast
I mean,
Wolf.
if Podcast Wolf sounds pretty dope.
Yeah. You stay away from Podcast Wolf. You don't want to meet him in a dark alley.
No, he'll try and sell you a watch.
Wearing his little headphones, selling people watches, listening to the podcast. Podcast Wolf.
Andy, how's your week been? We've missed you for a few weeks. How's the Dragon Ball 5 minute of the show? Let's do it.
I haven't watched a single episode in the past couple of weeks.
I'm sorry
I tell you, or where did I leave off at? The last thing happened, and I think that
the end of episode 1, I believe.
Yes,
I had a flashback to my childhood of what annoyed me about that show as a kid because I just I can say what happened in the show, right? You're not going to hit me with spoilers. Don't even do it as a joke. I don't have the patience for it. So I finished up the episode where they finished fighting his brother and they killed his brother, and then Goku died, and I was just like, fucking great. Here we go again. Now he's going to be in a tube for 80 episodes, and I'm never going to get to see any cool action. So,
are you watching Kai?
He's not actually dead when he's in the tube.
Yeah, he's healing. He's healing.
I am watching Kai, which I know it's not supposed to be as long, but still, like, he died, and I was like, and there's just this part of me that's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is why I hated it as a child.
But it's less about Goku now. You get to hang out with Gohan and Piccolo for a bit, and
I don't want to hang out with Gohan.
Oh,
and Piccolo.
You just gotta. You know how. Maybe this isn't correct, but how do wrestling fans feel about John Cena? Who's like an ultra popular from the outside, that super popular wrestler, but those who watch wrestling are like, fuck this guy. This guy is
John Cena is an apt description for Goku.
Yes,
I think the closest that it ever got was really the Goku is John Cena, CM Punk is Vegeta thing, where there was always like everyone loved John Cena, but then the people who like Vegeta were like, oh man, fuck Goku. Like all the cool people like all the cool people like Vegeta. He is badass.
My Super Watch is progressing too, so I'm watching new Dragon Ball as y'all are. And man, fuck Goku. They double down on him being. He will say something and literally the next sentence be like, "Oh, that's right, I forgot." You're like, dude, that was 1 second, and like that's his fucking recurring gimmick now. Is like, oh, save the universe. Oh shit, I was just eating rice or whatever.
Yeah, it feels like in Super he got dumber, which is impressive considering how dumb he is for stretches of Dragon Ball Z.
A character, word for word, says, "Do you have brain damage?" at some point, and at least the universe is becoming self-aware around him, which is a little.
I think they've really I feel like the best part about Dragon Ball Super is that I think they were able to gather all that data from the North American viewers of Dragon Ball Z and be like, "Oh, this is how people view these characters. People like Vegeta, let's make him more likable. People think Goku's an idiot, let's make him dumber."
I shouldn't. I was about to spoil something for Andy. There's a great scene with Krillin, Brando, that I know you know, which you've already seen from the original run. You've already seen it up to where you've watched with the Return of F.
Yes.
They keep using that same clip over. Like they get good mileage out of Krillin going Goku, and then
oh yeah.
What a great!
The best scene in Dragon Ball Z is played 17 times in Dragon Ball Super.
They know. They became self-aware in Super. And Super's really fucking good. I'm very excited. Kai is a little bit old in some spots. You're like, oh, okay. It's a little old. It's a little slow in parts. Super is like the stupidest cranked all the way to infinity. Oh my goodness, it is so fucking stupid. Like
I'm really driving my way through Super right now.
Yeah, it's good stuff. There's let me know when you meet one of the destroyers from you know there are parallel universes and all that shit obviously already.
Yeah.
Once you meet the destroyer from another universe, there's one particular one, and I know you're going to know exactly which one. Shoot me a text, because I saw that dude, and that was when I texted you, and I was like, man, you got to start watching this show. I need to talk to somebody about this guy.
Yeah, I've only really seen the two so far.
Yeah,
So
yeah. There's oh yeah, is he the fat one's from another universe? I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think about 5 episodes away from where I stopped the first, or where I caught up. I think the first time through, and then when I got to the point where I was supposed to be following weekly because I had caught up, I totally fell off again.
Yeah, and that concludes your Dragon Ball Z. That was actually pretty short. That was probably within 5 minutes. Maybe
Yeah, wait till
7.
next time when I get caught back up now. The reason I didn't watch others is because I didn't have you kicking my ass. So
I'll keep you. Oh no, I'll keep you honest. Are you?
You know what else? It's also a pain in the ass too, and this makes me sound super lazy. But I got to connect my laptop to the TV and get it hooked up, and then I got to go on the internet and find the episode.
You got an
can't
Xbox?
just click a few. I just can't. Yeah, I do. Is there an app for that? Okay.
I'll give you my DVDs of Kai. My legal copies that I've bought over the years.
All the seasons.
Is that how I'm going to watch it through my Xbox? Or are you just telling me to go on the internet on my Xbox and watch it?
We'll talk after this. What are you, a cop,
right.
Andy?
DVD set. What do you not understand about DVDs? Legal DVDs.
Why would you ask me if I had an Xbox then? Why wouldn't you just say, do you have a DVD player?
You gotta play the DVD.
Well, yeah. That's no. Don't. We'll talk after. I have.
I guess
I have a website. I have a website. You can stream them on the Xbox. It works on the Xbox.
That's the one I've been using.
Nice. It works on the Xbox. Why don't you just use it through your Edge browser on your Xbox? You're gonna plug your laptop in.
I'm gonna use the controller. It's easier if I hook up the laptop.
What?
It's easier to do it.
What?
Yeah.
You madman? No. Once you're going, you press play, and then when the thing's done, you scroll down. It's like the next episode. Click it, and away you go. I'll get you my DVDs. Don't worry. Are you watching last Dragon Ball thing? Are you watching the next time on Dragon Ball Z's? At the end of the episodes?
Like the ending of them?
I only watched 1 episode.
Okay, that's fair.
I watched up till he died. That's 3, so that's so quick.
I think that is a few.
It probably would have been 100 if I watched the regular version. I watched the next up. Hey, I wanted to tell you guys this last time. Here's a hot take. The Dragon Ball Z music is awful.
What music do you have right now?
Which it depends on which music you get.
Live your life like a Kamehameha.
I don't know. Whatever the first couple episodes are, that intro song and that extra song are absolute garbage. I'm just laughing the whole time.
You wait.
In a world where we have the Pokemon intro, how did Dragon Ball Z, for as great of a show as it is and is supposed to be, create that nonsense?
Is this it?
Oh my God! Stop it! It's so bad.
This is so good.
Oh, it's bad.
Where's the live your life
like a Kamehameha?
Oh,
yeah. It gets worse. It gets so much worse.
Eads always texts it to me, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's so stupid.
Yeah. I texted you randomly one morning this week. Bud, are you living your life like a Kamehameha? I can get to it.
Stupid ass song.
Yeah, the music.
It all turns to opera and super, if that helps.
It gets
great. Yeah.
There's 2. I know. There's 2 songs a season, and you hear them 8,000 fucking times. And because they have such a limited music library, apparently, they're just in the most ridiculous situations. They're like, oh, here's that fucking Papa song.
I love that
Meanwhile,
song.
they're fighting for the fate of the universe.
There's also the one that you said was Hercule's theme, and then the more you listen to it, you're like, oh no, this is just any exciting thing that ever happens.
Yeah, this just happens a lot. And that concludes, Kevin, your Dragon Ball 10 minute. How does it feel living Dragon Ball Z vicariously through us, Kevin? You're a surrogate for the audience. Best podcast we've ever done?
Sorry, we were talking about what?
Okay. Kamehamehas, turtle. It's fine. Video games, gentlemen.
Headache, Brando?
No, it's just hot.
Yeah. Hot in here, too. 4th floor is... Woo.
So the fan's always going.
Windows are open as they can be without hearing all the traffic.
Mine doesn't work because it has a coaster.
Oh, yeah, look at that. A koozie.
Hardcore one. It's got a screwy top. Screw it.
That is hardcore. Wow. Hang on. Can I see that again? I thought that was just the beer. Or the can, rather.
You pull it out.
Holy.
Oh!
Whoa, that was almost dangerous.
That was almost super dangerous. Wow.
Pretty dope. You
Yeah,
can
that
have
is
this.
like
It's gonna be like 30 outside, and this thing will keep your can cold for like an hour. It's fantastic.
like
It was
a little
probably
thermos.
$400, and it was worth it.
Especially in these quarantine times.
Yeah, it's hot in this apartment.
All these long
I can't open
journeys
up-
we make.
I can't open up a window because then the real cars will come through the audio. So
Fair enough.
be careful. Anyways, video games.
Video
I think we
games,
talked
you
about
like
that
them?
stuff
You play
eventually
them?
here.
What do you do, Andy? Andy, what do you do?
I can go first. So I've been playing some video games lately. I actually played a couple games lately, which is rare for me. Usually I kind of just play one multiplayer game with the fellas, and then that lasts me a month. But it has been a month that I've been playing Call of Duty, so I figured it was time to move on.
Sure. We talked a bunch about Sea of Thieves. Do you have any addendums to Sea of Thieves?
I didn't even write that down. Yeah, because I figured you guys would have talked a whole bunch about that the last couple weekends. That game I really got turned around on because I can remember the first time playing it whenever it came out a couple years ago and just sitting there like, all right, I'm done with this. But the fellas and I have been finding some good times with that over the past couple of weekends here. It's I wouldn't say that it's a game that is particularly amazing in any sort of way, but for me, it's kind of like Destiny 1, where you can see that it's not really the best game in the world, but I get my joy from it, from playing with the fellas and, hanging out and chatting and doing stupid crap and laughing at all the stupid crap that happens in that game. And that's where the enjoyment comes from for me. So I've been digging
very
it. I
much
like
a
it.
people you're with kind of game where there is a role playing aspect to it that you just kind of get caught up in, and that's where the fun is had when you survive a ship battle and stuff with Andy barking orders and me bailing water and Warren firing cannons, and that's when that game's at its best. Nothing to do with the content they actually put in there to bring you through.
Maybe a little bit to do.
The content's all right. I don't mind it. You know what? So,
Nothing to do with the main content. Like we haven't even done one of the actual real quest lines yet.
Well, I've been wanting to, but every time we sit down, everybody's just like, "Oh, let's go and find this X on this island." I'm like, fuck, let's go fucking go to the skull and see what's going on over there. Like, let's stop fucking around with these. Wow, we got to go get supplies, and then by the time we gather supplies and get a couple chests, it's been 4 hours, and everybody's got to go to bed or we're all drunk. Like, we just got to hop in, and we got to go for the main content.
That's the real getter.
So what you're saying is you shouldn't be drinking and sailing a ship. Because you get distracted
that's the best part about it. You just gotta plot your course. And the weird thing is
that kind of talk will get you thrown overboard on our ship.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be the captain. Every time I bring up going to do something super cool, these guys are all like, well, let's go do a couple of these first. And then 80 hours later,
throw them in the brig.
Aren't you the one steering the ship? Steer the ship where you want it to go.
I'm not a fascist captain, Kevin. I'm not going to just do whatever I want, because then when we get to the place where shit's hitting the fan, nobody's going to help me. We're just going to sink.
Don't sound like
I'm
much
also
of a
the
captain
navigator,
at all.
so I can just tell him that wherever he wants to go is actually where I want to go, and then he'll sail that way. So
that's true. Yeah, that's the thing. Brando's navigator. He tells us where we're heading and stuff. So everybody has their role. You got to follow it. Did you guys see?
Did you guys see any of the new updates for? I think they're. I don't know if they're out or coming out, but like what are they called? Emissary updates? Emissary.
I know you can buy a cat now.
I'm gonna give the Cole's notes as I understand them from an article I read like last week. So now you can. There are trading companies. You can set yourself up as I think emissary is maybe the right word. An emissary of these trading companies. I guess there are like different factions in the game. And then you're doing kind of different missions, and it makes it sound like the different emissary ships. It's like a flag you fly. We're like, we want to be emissaries for, I don't know any of the companies. The East India Trading Company, say.
That's the real one.
The real one. It sounds like you get different classes almost, where they're like, oh, this is a gold hoarder ship, so they're going to have a lot of gold on them. But this one is like a whatever ship, and they're going to have a lot of chests, or I don't really know. But it made it sound like there are different classes. And then as an emissary, you are doing missions, and every mission is worth more. So, you do a mission and you get, I don't know, let's say 5 gold or whatever, 5 chests, whatever the unit is. Next mission is worth 10, next mission is worth 20, next mission is worth 50. But other players can see that. So it's a bounty, basically. As your bounty, as you have more and more loot on your ship, as these missions are getting more and more valuable, then pirates are more and more incentivized to come and, hunt the most valuable ships, but maybe they see a ship that because it makes it sound like you could look at the flag and kind of tell, like, oh, they're low level, they won't have any loot. Like we'll let them do a few missions and we'll come back and fuck with them then. And it sounds like they sort of built a system in to sort of incentivize or like bring players together almost, it seems. PvP.
So, for everything I like about that game, the hanging out with buddies and the collecting treasure and the blowing up ghost ships and going to Skull Islands and stuff, all that's lovely in that game. One thing that I absolutely cannot stand is encountering other players. And it's just because, A, they seem way too good for a game like that to be able to destroy us as fast as they can. And B, it's just, whenever you're interacting with other people, it feels so clunky. And it's like you're trying to shoot a guy and it's like you're playing GoldenEye on the N64. Like, it's mind-boggling how some people are so good at it. And yeah, like it ruins my night every single time we encounter another ship, because it's just like, well, this battle isn't even going to be fun. They're going to absolutely destroy us. And then we have to go through an endless loop of us constantly respawning, trying to take these guys out, and they just keep killing us. So
yeah, and it's very poorly done, because it's one thing to just be way worse at the game than another team and get fucked, but it's this whole like, well, you just kind of keep respawning, and if none of you guys are able to take out the other team's ship, then everyone will just keep respawning. And God forbid you're at a port where the ships are on separate ends of the island, and they're not even really trying to sink ships, and everyone's just like crossing each other on the island on the way to each other's ship and taking like pot shots on the way by. It is terribly done, the PvP combat in that game.
I remember the spawning always being fucked. Like, even when we played when it first came out, you would die on your ship, and then you and the other players just infinitely respawned on your ship over and over and over and over again until somebody sank the ship, and then you went back to port and got another one.
It's brutal.
Yeah, like you can just blow everything up when you're on the Davy Jones ship or whatever, and just hit the reset button, like, get me out of this nonsense. This is bullshit, which is good, but at the same point, just like, I feel like those interactions should be more fun, right? Like they're just not enjoyable, and I feel like even if I was good at it, like, I don't even think I would enjoy the whole coming in contact with other players and ship battling. Like, there's no thrill for me. I just see a ship across the sea and I'm like, well, here comes this bullshit. Like, I don't want any part of it, right? I'll shoot the ghost ships and stuff like that. Those are fun, but just other players, it's just clunky and stupid.
I wonder if we didn't play in a party all the time and like use the in-game, there's like tools in game to broadcast your voice across the ocean to other boats and things. I wonder if we would have better interactions, because sometimes I wonder if those people are like, hey, are you guys cool? But we're in our party, so we're just not saying anything, and we're like, let's see if let's just roll up, see if these guys look cool, let's just sail right up beside them and see if they're chill, and somebody inevitably misinterprets something and shots get fired, and
we do a lot of like sending each other ahoys on the text chat.
Yeah.
Like, ahoy! And then the other team's like, ahoy! And Warren's like, yeah, these guys are cool. Yeah, and then we just drive by, and then he just fucking unload on us like a goddamn atom bomb.
Yeah. I like that. I like that mechanic, though, even though I haven't tried it. I would like to at some point, the whole horn thing, because I think that's a neat idea, being able to like grab the horn and then like yell at another ship. So I remember
cool. That was an updated tool too, because I think they like put all these things like the Kraken and the Meg and stuff for multiple ships to do, but they didn't really have a way to like make a party out of that. So they were like, well, we'll put this horn in here so you can literally just yell at random players. It's a neat concept.
They should take Sea of Thieves. What if it was I don't know. Space of Thieves is not a good title. What if it was in space? What if it was in space? What if instead of on a boat, you were on... Have you played Star Trek Bridge Commander? What if instead of on a boat, you were on, say, the deck of the USS Enterprise? And you had a navigator who had to navigate, you had a weapons expert, you had... I don't remember the other role. Navigator, weapons...
Captain?
Captain is obviously one. There's a fourth
Engineer? Comms?
Engineer seems like a thing.
Maybe comms? I can't remember. I haven't played that game in years. Maybe comms? It's super dope. If this game were in space, and I am sort of surprised nobody
it would also take away the, like, people boarding your ship just out of nowhere.
Yeah, you'd have to. In space. I wonder if you'd have to, like... Well, you got spacesuits.
Like, which I'm into. I'm into taking that out.
So the game I'm describing is actually what Star Citizen promises, but that is not a game. That game will never come. That's not a real thing. This philosophical concept we call Star Citizen will never come out.
It's like world peace.
Yeah, exactly. I can't hold Star Citizen in my hands. I can't load Star Citizen and play it on my computer. It's this ephemeral thing that you just have to feel inside of you.
It's an idealist view of a video game.
That's right.
And donate money to.
Yes, lots, billions. I'm sure they'll hit $1 billion before the end of that fucking thing. I don't know. I've always wanted the space equivalent of this game, and there have been a few, and they've never really been super popular.
I would like to see a game, and I know they're supposed to be coming out with that ship battle game at some point, but it would just be fun just to have a game where you can get on board a ship with the fellas and then just go like fight stuff. Like just have real solid combat mechanics for running cannons and different things, and just like running a ship and just like, running into other players in a game that is specifically designed for like ship fighting and stuff like that. I think something like that would be really cool. I'd have a lot of fun with, because that's what I'm having the most fun is when everybody's like, I'm barking orders and everybody's doing their things and we're moving along. That's the most enjoyable for me. So a game like that was actually like really tight would be cool.
Even that part of the PvP is really good. The PvP is great until we start getting on each other's ships and the gunplay kicks in, and then you're like, this isn't very good.
The excellent sword fighting.
Yeah, you're right. Like the actual cannon stuff, and when you're kind of circling around each other, that stuff is fun. But as soon as people start boarding and like bringing those bomb barrels on board and blowing them up, and then your ship's on fire and you're trying to douse it with water, and then the rest of them are there and they're just shooting you in an endless loop. It's just like, this is just stupid.
That Star Trek VR game is almost what you're describing, but it's in space. It's like PvE. It's 4 players on a ship, but it's all just generated. There's no multiplayer or anything. It's just you're doing missions, made missions, bespoke missions with voice acting and twists and turns, and I don't know, that interesting concept, but I mean in practice, that Star Trek was not great.
I wonder what was it called, like Skull and Bones or whatever. I wonder what that game's gonna be like.
Is it going to come out? They keep delaying it. It's pushed back to 2021. Yeah.
That was announced a long time ago, eh? Like it's been a couple of years.
It has to be like 5 years almost now.
As I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey and doing the ship combat in there, which is very similar, very very similar to all the Assassin's Creed ship combat. And again, not to say that we don't know what Skull and Bones is, but from what we've been shown, it looks like just that combat built into a full game. I don't want to play a full game of that. I don't know. It was fun in Black Flag. It was fun 6 years ago, 7 years ago now. I don't want to. I will not purchase Skull and Bones. I'm not down for a full, however long experience of just drive your ship up, push B to slam the sails down, turn it sideways, broadside, and away you go.
Yeah, see, that's why it would be a lot of fun if you drive your ship up and you got to say, hey, Brando and Aber, go get the sails down. Hey, guys, go get the sails down. We're coming up on them. Are you going to do it or what? Okay, we're fucked. See, that's
I'm marking places on my map. Aber's doing who knows what the fuck. But ain't no one doing anything to do with sails.
It's like, got the cannons full? Oh, I'm out of cannonballs. I thought there was cannonballs in it. Like, that stuff's fun. I love that stuff. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sakes, come on. What is going on? That's fun.
The organized chaos is...
Yeah. But if it's just, you're right though, Eads. Like if it's just you on a ship pushing B and then
you are the ship.
Cannons.
You are the whole thing, right? Yeah, you see from the top and you are the entire ship.
I wouldn't be as interested in that. It was a cool mechanic in Assassin's Creed, but a full game.
Because the shanties were good. You know what? The shanties. I don't speak Greek. I assume they speak Greek in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't sing Greek shanties. I can't get way into the shanties like I could in Black Flag. The shanties were a huge part of that game for me.
You're just not trying hard enough.
What do I know? Ancient Greek music is weird by today's standards.
Consider if non-shanty video games are really for you.
It has. The motorcycle race is coming by. So Sea of Thieves. There you go. Emissary update here. Let me give you a date here. I actually just looked it up. It's soon. It was like I remember kind of being surprised. Like, oh fuck, it's let's see here. Oh, apparently it's out.
You have to pay. Oh, there you go. You have to pay real money for pets.
Oh, okay. Those are cosmetic, right? Are they? Ooh.
Yeah, but everything else in that game is cosmetic, and you pay with in-game currency.
Oh, weird.
Worked.
Yeah, I wonder.
On me.
I wonder if maybe literally 0 people are buying this game and only getting it through Game Pass. And so even though it's not a free-to-play game, they are kind of... I wonder if they're like
trying to
positioning...
slide some of that stuff in there.
Yeah, or even maybe positioning to make it a free-to-play game. Which they should. Like, the servers could use the population, honestly.
It makes a lot of sense as a free-to-play game.
Yeah. What else you been up to, Andy? Sea of Thieves, that was.
I'll rattle off the 2 smaller ones. I can't find the sheet anywhere. I got to keep trying to remember. I know it's old, but since I got Game Pass, I started playing Forza Horizon 4. I've been really enjoying that, so that's cool. That's a beautiful game. That is a gorgeous ass video game. My goodness, that opening sequence, fantastic. So and I recently got it.
It like roped in me and Warren so quick in a weird way when we both got Game Pass, where we're like, this is a game that is out on Game Pass at the time Game Pass launched. It was like one of their big showpieces for Game Pass, and we both started playing it and just got lost in it for like a month. Where it's like, I don't even like car games, and this is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I used to be a big car game guy back in the day, so I'm kind of really getting back into it here. It's kind of nostalgic in a weird way.
What was your car game? Where'd you cut your teeth?
Oh, just like Need for Speed. I can't remember which one, but I remember blasting that out on the computer, and I remember always loving when
was Razor Callahan in it? Was it Need for Speed Most Wanted?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, man. I was just
you'd remember our good friend Razor.
I was only exclusively playing Nintendo as a child, and that was like the only computer game I had, and I was obsessed with it, so it was good. I liked running away from the cops. But yeah, it's a gorgeous game, and I recently bought a new controller and replaced my controller where I could barely turn left with it. Sometimes it just wouldn't go. So now that game is even more fun now that I have a controller that works properly. So that's exciting. I'm excited to experience it to its full potential.
Was that? Did you say it was an Xbox controller that shit out on you? An Xbox One controller?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Mine is it? Did you get it at launch? Like, how long have you had all my controllers have shit out also within the last like year and a half.
Yeah, it was a launch controller. Yep.
Yeah, mine also all launch controllers, and they've all. I banged one on the desk this week and broke the shell apart. But
mine was also a launch controller, and I just replaced it last week.
Yeah. It's nothing fucking lasts anymore. What the fuck? They're so expensive. They're so expensive.
$75.
I don't know, man. I think that might be a you problem. You seem to go through electronic devices faster than anyone I have ever met.
One person mine do get a lot of hours on them, but all 3 of our controllers are shit. Have crapped out.
Okay.
I can't fucking figure out who's where.
Maybe this is me giving too much slack to Microsoft. But as a man who does not think a TV remote will ever last as long as a TV, should a video game remote last the entire lifespan of a video game console?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Totally.
Yeah, it should.
But the reason I think that is because I don't know if I've ever seen
one do it.
I still have my original N64 controllers. I still have my original PS1 controllers.
I have it. I would replace it if I was an avid N64 player.
Yeah, I might too. It's starting to lean.
I don't think I ever replaced the GameCube controller. I had those for a long time.
My PS3 controllers are still in incredible shape and hold a charge for like 500 hours, apparently. Every now and again, I'll plug in the PS3 to... I'm trying to think the last thing we played on. Probably God of War or something. Or, what am I saying? Probably Metal Gear. And didn't even have to charge the controller. It was like, wow, this thing is still going. That's wild. I'll get the second one charging because I'm sure it'll die, but nope. They last forever. And now...
God bless PS3.
PS4 controllers hold a charge for, what? 20 minutes? Half an hour, maybe?
I get like an hour and a half out of mine.
Sure. Like, not long.
No.
And granted, they've seen a lot of use, but like, not that much use. It's only been 7 years. It's coming up on 7 years.
It's like the lifespan of a console.
I bet I never replaced a 360 controller. I don't remember. I don't remember having to.
I replaced a lot of 360 controllers.
I replaced a lot of 360s, but no controllers.
They always came with new controllers, so you just kind of got a new controller every time you got a new 360. So
you might not be wrong. I went through 7. I went through 7 fucking 360s in my time.
That's fucked.
I only got
fucked.
to go through 2.
I am fucked.
I sold my first one to somebody who said he could fix it for like $40 and found out that he could not fix it.
The old towel, wrapping a towel, put in the oven trick.
Yeah, something like that. He tried to pull the whole open it up and actually solder it back together kind of thing.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, did not work.
Sounds like something Podcast Wolf would sell you in a back alley.
You want to buy a refurbished Xbox?
Get my solder gun.
Yeah, this Podcast Wolf would totally sell you the service of soldering your old broken Xbox. Wouldn't actually sell you one that was already done. Be like, yo, you bring me your Xbox.
Yeah.
I'll hang on to it for a couple days and then I'll bring it back to you good as new.
Mm-hmm. We're going to find out together if this is worth your money.
It's like obviously a different Xbox when you get it back, but it still doesn't work. You're like, oh, whatever.
It's just like hardened metal all over the outside. Just
oh, mercy. Forza Horizon 4, Andy.
all right.
Okay.
Heck of a game.
Okay, I have a quick one that I'm going to rattle off quickly, and then I have one that'll probably take a little more time, maybe. What are you doing?
Okay.
Somebody's barbecuing. First barbecue smell of the year, Andy. This is a big deal for me.
Does a barbecue cooking suck like your beard towards it? Is that what was going on there?
Yeah, no.
You're trying to tickle Andy with your beard.
It reminds me that there's life outside these walls, Andy, and that someday I might see another human again.
Mm.
You're seeing
when I come to get those Dragon Ball Z DVDs.
Maybe I'm seeing these. Maybe other humans. These are fucking. It's all digital. This could be a work. This could be the Matrix. I'm in the simulation.
I wish.
Yeah, if only, that'd be dope.
There's people laughing outside. I just want to poke my head out and be like, "Hey, get the fuck home!"
That's so funny. These serious times.
Probably not social distancing. You should call the cops on them, Brando.
Or just throw eggs at them.
That, they probably live together. Those 17 people.
Yep. Commune.
Yeah.
All those people running up and down the stairs at the river valley, they're probably all in the same house together. That's all that's going on there.
Just hollering out the cars like, you all live together? Hey, all you football players, you live together?
Let me see your IDs, gentlemen.
Carry on.
IDs, please.
Good luck.
Could you show me a piece of mail from each one of you? I need to see a piece of mail. Okay, so also I got Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. I was playing that for a bit.
Is that
I was a big fan.
Is that the second one?
It's 3. Yeah, Garden Warfare was the last one. They kind of released this one out of nowhere. They did it back in October, and I bought it was on sale. I really liked Garden Warfare. This game is not doing it for me as much. I don't think it... I think they took away some of the things that made Warfare nice and fun, and they took those things out and tried some different stuff, and it's not as good. One of the main...
the loss of human life.
Buy this?
You can still kill the zombies. I don't know if you got it, Brando. I don't remember you saying anything, and I never asked you to play it because I was like, I don't really want to play this. I might dabble a bit more in it, but it one of the things that I liked about Garden Warfare was kind of the uniqueness of every character. So you kind of had all these different characters, but then each character had their own unique types of that character. So like you'd be the corn guy, but you could get like a fire corn guy, or there's like an ice one and a plasma one, and there's different versions of it. Now it seems like you just get...
It was like a cross between a reskin but it would also totally affect the moves.
Yeah, which was neat. For like the pea shooter, you could have like the regular pea shooter, or you get the plasma one that you could actually charge up a shot, and things like that were cool. Whereas now it just seems like they just have each character is just like they're all the same across the board. You can level them up and you can vary some different stat changes to them. But otherwise, the only is sort of things that cosmetics or looks do. It's literally for that. Like you just change the way your character looks, but it doesn't make them a new character in any way. So that was one of the things for me that it felt like they dropped the ball on with that.
This is a third-person shooter in the Garden Warfare universe, right?
Yes.
Person shooter? First person shooter? Third person shooter?
No, they're third.
Yeah, okay.
It's third, yeah.
I think all the Garden Warfare should be third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have played whatever one was free on Games with Gold or whatever. I'm sure I've played one and it was free for a time because I've never bought a...
Garden Warfare was a fantastic game as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
We should just go back and play that one.
It's a good joke. It's a really good joke.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fun. It was chaotic. I like those games that are chaotic. Bunch of different characters. It was goofy. It looked really good. I thought that like all levels and everything about it looked good. And this new one looks really good as well too. But yeah, they just took away some elements that I thought made the last one special, and it just it didn't grab me the same anymore. So
that corn is no longer fire. It's just corn.
Huh?
That corn is no longer fire corn.
Yeah, well, I want my plasma pea shooter. That was my boy
with a fucking Tommy gun.
Yeah, the gangster corn. Now what? I just put a jacket on him and that's it? That's a poser. I don't want the poser corn. I want the actual gangster corn.
What is that? Chili corn? Needs a fucking jacket? It's fine, Andrew. Carry on. Cold.
So,
cool.
it was all right.
Did this cost money? Because I'm almost certain that
Yeah, it was $11. It was on sale. You were the one that told me it was on sale, and I was like, all right, I'll get it then. So that was the reason I bought it.
I'll jump in there next time it's you and me. A little bit of that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's play it for a bit. It's maybe I need to play a little bit more, but I don't know. It just it didn't grab me the same. Some of the new characters are cool. They have like a mushroom that's like a ninja. He's pretty great. A couple new zombies, which are neat. So the new characters are cool. I just would have liked if they would have kept the variety within the characters.
Kevin, what's your favorite plant or zombie?
I'm a fan of dandelions.
Oh, it's a good answer.
Why is there a dandelion in that game? Oh, because dandelion, no, they'd be bad. Dandelions would be bad. You can't have that.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of sunflower. I thought
you're definitely thinking of sunflower.
Sunflowers are good too.
Yeah, like the dandelion would like pretend he was a plant, but then secretly be conspiring with the zombies, and that'd be great. Why didn't they do that in this game? That would have been dope. I would have been all over that.
What's wrong with dandelions, Andrew?
Dandelions are like AOE,
they're pieces of shit.
Scatter attacks.
Yeah.
See what I'm doing?
Like cluster bomb things that drop down. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, and you'd probably like come roaring in, holding on to 2 dandelions, just floating.
Oh, fuck. He could drop out of a plane. 100 plants, each holding dandelion things. Fucking onto. Is there a battle royale mode in that game, Andy?
No.
I am actually kind of surprised. Has there ever been a Plants vs. Zombies battle royale?
Yeah, stop that. I will say that one thing that they did do that was
EA
good
property. I'm not...
one thing they did do that was good was they added sprinting to the game, which wasn't in the last game, which didn't really bug me too much, but once you have it, it was really nice. So you could actually sprint now, which was a nice addition.
Like the original Modern Warfare 3, not as good as 2. Garden Warfare 2, pretty good. Modern Warfare 2, pretty good.
Just got to get back to their roots.
Fuck,
if only I had the soundboard.
Yeah, that was pretty good though, Bertle. I like that one. So that game's very meh. And then Brando and I, and mainly me on my own, I've actually sunk a massive amount of time in this game. I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain lately, which kind of came out of nowhere.
Risk of Rain 2.
I never know what you do, like what you're doing, or is you like making fun of me? And
you didn't hear the sound effect?
You didn't hear that?
No, what'd you play?
I'll do it again.
Drum roll.
Even funnier. 4 minutes after. You didn't hear that time either?
Yeah, I told it because I told the joke 7 minutes ago.
That's weird. If for some reason only Andy can't hear it.
No, I can hear it.
Oh.
I didn't hear it the first time. I heard it
like,
all.
Boom, and then he hits the cymbal.
Yeah, I heard it the last 4 times. I didn't hear it the first time though when you were doing this. I didn't know what was going on there. I missed it. So, anyways, so yeah, I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain 2. Sinking a lot of hours into that game. I really like it. It's fun.
It is.
I
enjoy it.
Is there any crossplay or anything on that? Kevin likes Risk of Rain.
I
don't know if he likes it. He's played it. I should say.
I've played Risk of Rain. It seems like there's a lot of cool things there for when the game gets finished. But for now, it is not a lot going on. Very repetitive.
When's the last time you played it?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
actually, maybe not even a couple weeks ago. Maybe like 2 months ago. I honestly don't remember. Actually, I do remember. It was right when quarantine started.
When was that? That's a bad time for reference. That was like 10 years ago
or something.
So yeah, like maybe early March, I want to say, is when I played it last.
I remember you talking about it on the podcast semi-recently.
Yeah.
It's and maybe it's because I'm the type of person that I don't get bugged by that repetition as much, because I had this addiction to trying to just see how far I can go each time, which makes it the perfect game, and is exactly what that game is. So I don't know why I'm describing it. But I found right out of the gate, first starting with it, I was kind of like, oh man, this might get kind of repetitive and boring at some point. But at some stage, especially once I started kind of unlocking some new characters and trying some different guys, and like I was playing today, and I think I was playing for about an hour and 20 minutes. It was a massive run, and yeah, I was just fired up the whole time. And every single time I finish something like that, I'm just like, oh, I just want to go again. I just got to make it a little bit farther. And just seeing what different types of... Huh? I got to 8 today.
Holy fuck! I've been waiting down.
Level 8.
Yeah, I've been giving her it. And it, like once you hit a certain, like once you get past like stage 4, it's like you're just there'll be like 3 bosses that spawn in. I'll drop a couple turrets. I got 40 missile launchers hovering around me, and they just nuke everything. And I'm just like, oh, like you just get so fired up. You just want to keep going. You got like 4 double bounces, so you're just like bouncing around everybody, just lobbing grenades in there on this like shit show happening on the bottom. Like I can't get enough of it. It just the whole beginning of it is like, fuck, come on, let's go in. But man, once that game gets rocking, it's just, I can't stop. I love that. It's just, the chaos is so much fun.
Yeah, there gets to be a point where the enemies kind of outscale everything that you can possibly do. So by like level 10 and 11 kind of thing, then it just becomes completely impossible to progress. And that might be a problem with how early it is in its lifespan. So maybe that's kind of what 10? I'm talking about. I think I've been level 12 is the highest we've been.
I gotta get back over there now. Bullshit. Level 12. I went on.
So the one I was one several times.
The one I was doing today when I got to 8. There was this weird portal that you go through, because sometimes at the teleporter, a portal will open up that takes you to a special level, or like there's this weird shop you can go to. And apparently there's this one that takes you to some sort of a shrine, which is how you get a new character. But when you go to this shrine, you have to sacrifice yourself to the shrine, and then your run ends. So I would have easily kicked your record's ass today if I didn't sacrifice myself to that shrine, but I fucking wanted that new character. So that's why I made it to 8 today. So it was because of that. So, but
apparently, at like, I don't know, some folks say 30, some folks say 27. Apparently once you do 27, you go infinite. There's a point in this game where you just get over the hump. Having not played this game, it's very hard for me to really parse out, but according to many threads on the Risk of Rain 2 subreddit, somewhere between 27 and 30 is where you apparently go infinite. Where they make it sound like if you... I don't know, do the levels go forever? From the way I'm reading this, they make it sound like if you do level 30, you can do level 999,000. Yeah,
the enemies just scale up as you get... Each level gets harder than the previous level. Apparently, it stops at level 30.
These are as of a year ago, so...
Okay, yeah, and I mean, you probably just get to the point too where you just get so much shit that it doesn't even matter. Like,
yeah, that's what these all say.
Risk of Rain 2 come out?
It's not
a year ago, I think.
Early access.
Yeah, it's early access right now, but they released it a year ago to early access.
March 28, 2019. Yeah, so just over a year ago.
Yeah, the one thing I will give that game is all the little items that you pick up that kind of change the way that your run goes every time you pick them up. All of those are always super fun. Every time you pick something up, it's always great fun to see what kind of crazy ability you can do now.
The chaos.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite part of the game, is that kind of like knowing which 2 items are like...
Jesus.
Oh!
Sorry, gang. Live recording.
Knowing which, like, having this item and then getting this item, I was like, oh, those work really well together. Like, as soon as I get these 2, I feel like I'm in for like a 4-level run at least. I
had one setup where I got this item that reduces me down to 1 health but gives me a shield for the amount of health that I lost. And then I got another item that every time I do damage to something, the amount of damage I do gets stacked onto any shield I have. So I was basically unkillable. Until I wasn't.
Until you weren't.
And the numbers get big.
Yes.
That game seems neat. I should get in there and fuck around a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm at the point now too with it. Oh, sorry, Kevin. But
I was gonna say, I think it's only about $15 or so.
On PC, it was like
it's free on
40 on Xbox.
No, it was 40, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was $40 on Xbox. Us idiots over here.
40 Canadian.
But whatever.
It was 40
I'm
for
fine.
1 and 2. It was 30
sure.
for
I bought,
one, or for just
I
2.
did buy the first one. I still have to play that, but yeah, I I just like I get home from work and I just like, I throw it on and I'm just like, okay, let's see how far I can go today. And then I just do a run for like an hour and I'm like, okay, I died. That's enough now. And I like playing it with other people as well too. It just seems like a fun game just to throw on and just go shoot some dudes with and just see how far you can make it and then move on to something else. So yeah,
I'm being able to trash talk the people you're playing with because they can only jump 2 times and you can jump 7 times.
Yeah,
it's too many jumps.
I tell you, those jumps it's the best. Like I got 4 feathers today and I was like, well, fuck, do I need 4 feathers for? 4. And then I started using them. I was like, oh yeah, all right, I see now. It's pretty fucking dope.
This one, there's this one ability where it just increases your movement speed for every one you get. And I had like 17 of them, so I was going like 15 times faster than anyone else on the map. Just running in circles.
You get the energy drinks, and then the whips, those ones that for when you're outside of combat, you go really fast. So if you get a bunch of energy drinks and you get like 2 of those, you're just fucking, it's like you're on a train running around the map. Like you can clean up items so quick. It's good. I like it. It's fun. It's all right.
It seems neat. One of these days,
yeah,
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. I don't really know what it like how much they're going to change in terms of the gameplay once they do take it out of early access from what it is right now. Like they just have a few different abilities and stuff like that. They're going to add modifiers, which will be interesting. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, if they just keep adding stuff, then I'm happy I have it. I'm enjoying it now, so I'll probably only enjoy it more.
Yeah, it's a good pickup for to wait and see when it gets better, especially to pick it up cheap early.
Wasn't the first game like top down? Wasn't the first game?
It was
like,
definitely not
very, very different.
This one's kind of top down. It's like isometric.
Oh, it was a side scroller. The first game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat. Like looking at screenshots of the first game and the second game, you can totally see the through line. That's cool. I might get into Risk of Rain. I might see if Risk of Rain is for me.
That'd be a good stream game.
These screenshots are totally winning me over. The magazines were right. How did they go to business? You been playing anything else, Andy? Real car.
No. I don't think I have anything else new. Yeah.
There goes real car.
That's it. That's it, brother.
Kevin, you want to talk about some Final Fantasy VII?
Sure, we can talk about some Final Fantasy VII.
Great. Do you think that Final Fantasy VII Remake is a horny video game or the horniest video game ever
I don't
made?
know. I am at a part where it gets quite intense.
Even hornier? You're ahead of me, and I cannot imagine. Like, unless there's just hardcore pornography on the screen, I have trouble imagining it getting hornier.
There is a portion of the game where you kind of go to kind of like the red light district, let's say.
Oh, no. Yeah, okay. Yeah, say no more. I've seen some things.
Yeah, there you go. So
is that the honeybee? Is the honeybee in the red light?
It is,
okay.
yes. The honeybee
Great.
is in the red light area. I see people have told you about the Honeybee Inn.
I've seen some screenshots. Yeah, when I pull my GIF for the Final Fantasy VII streams, I've seen a couple Honeybee Inns and like, oh, I can't look at these anymore. This is going to be a great surprise.
I got myself a 3,000 gil massage. And it was something else.
From one of the main characters, or
no, just okay. It's a quest. It's in there.
Okay.
You'll You'll find it.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. I am.
He'll do it. Yeah.
I've come to terms and fully embraced the horniness. The game. When I say the game is horny, I mean like characters are just like constantly talking to you, the main character, being like, "You want to fuck? We should. You are very attractive. I'm very attractive. We should make very attractive kids together." Constantly, nonstop, and also just NPCs in the game are constantly just always talking about having sex. They're like, "Wow, we're gonna go hook up later." Like total side stories that you're just hearing in the background are people being like, "Oh yeah," and then I went over to this girl's play. Yeah, like it's everybody is always talking about fucking in Final Fantasy VII, constantly.
Hell yes.
Constantly.
There's a lot of dick jokes too. A lot of dick jokes in Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm. I saw a great fucking picture of Jesse that said, "Call me Goku, because I'm gonna ride a cloud," and that made me laugh my ass off.
I would wear that shirt.
Yeah.
I get that joke.
She's coming on strong. Jesse's coming on real strong where I'm at in the
That
game.
cloud is in the first 3 episodes.
Nimbus.
I don't get the Dragon Ball portion of that joke, but I get the Final Fantasy portion of that joke.
Goku has a cloud that he flies on named Nimbus. Flying Nimbus.
Okay.
I forgot to talk about how stupid that cloud is when I was talking about how stupid the songs are.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
the
Clouds are
cloud
barely sentient.
Cloud may be even stupider because they can just fly them fucking selves. So why do they need a cloud?
just hated that one part where he was talking to who was that green idiot. Who was that guy's name?
Piccolo.
Piccolo?
Yep.
Don't be offended, Eads. I don't remember characters from shows that I even like. And yeah, he's just like
you're going to the Bammer,
Goku.
Andy.
What? What?
Put him in the break. Andy's in the break.
Gone. Yeah.
I'm not gone. I'm trying to remember what the scene was that made me mad. It was just something Goku said, or I was like, "You're an idiot." Where like Nimbus or the Piccolo dude was gonna fly or something, and then Goku is like, "Oh, hopefully you keep up with me." And Goku just said something about Nimbus being like, "Oh, I'll ride my Nimbus. You don't underestimate us." And just the way he said it, I was like, "You're a pansy. What are you talking about?"
That kind of talk's not gonna get you back on the screen, Andrew.
Anyways, continue on with the horniness of Final Fantasy. I had no point to make there, and I'm sorry I sidetracked everybody.
It's very horny. Very, very horny.
Yes. So I did find the so far biggest change that I have absolutely hated.
Are we talking like narrative change or gameplay?
No, just
or
mechanical gameplay kind of feature, you could say. In the original game, when you mastered a materia, it would split itself off. So you would keep the mastered materia, and it would split into a new base level materia of the same type. So you could, instead of buying multiple materias, you could master one and get another one for free, and then master that one and get another one for free, kind of thing.
Okay.
So I mastered my first materia. Was pretty pumped. Was going to put it in the bank, as you do when you master something and complete leveling up as much as you can. You immediately stop using it. So I was going to put on the fresh one and start leveling that one up, and there was no fresh one. It's just you just master a materia and that's it. It just sits there.
But like I have like, so if you ever play Final Fantasy VII, materia are the things that let you cast spells, but as you use them, they themselves level up. So you level up the materia, and then you can bounce that materia. You know, this level 2 fire materia is level 2 no matter who uses it.
Yeah.
Like I have like a bunch of like fire materia. I have a bunch of chakra. I have multiples. Can't you? I'm not really getting it. I'm not really understanding what you're saying.
Don't get me wrong. Like you can. There's more than enough of those ones.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only one elemental materia. There's only one synergy materia.
I see.
So I was hoping that once you level those up, and those ones are the hard levels, I think they're 12,000 or something to level them to max, or maybe even higher. I don't even know. I haven't even got one to level 2 yet. But those were the ones that I was hoping, because those are the ones that give you the game-breaking abilities where you can synergize it all into your armor so you don't take any damage from magical attacks anymore and stuff like that. So a lot of the super endgame stuff that you can do with materia in Final Fantasy VII, the original, it seems that you can't really do that in this one.
Is it just like kind of like the game breaking stuff? like you say, I don't take damage anymore because I stacked my materia in such a way.
Yeah, exactly. Or your weapon attacks for all the elemental damage, or just general stuff like that. I think there's only one all materia as well. I don't remember what it's called in this one, but it's the one that you attach it to any type of magic materia, and it casts the AoE version of that spell instead of just a single target.
I haven't seen that yet. So, that sounds dope.
Yeah. So that one is one of the ones that, I was hoping to get a couple copies of it, but I don't think there is a way.
Do you think
there might be more that I find later on, but as of now,
do you think if Aerith uses that AoE one and then uses her ability and all right, great.
Yeah,
that sounds. She is already. So I just unlocked Aerith is where I'm in the game, and everyone's like, "Wow, Aerith is really strong. You're probably gonna want to max out Aerith when you get her." And like that was the biggest undersell of the whole fucking year, where Aerith is so insanely fucking strong that why would you use anyone else ever? She can heal everybody with no cost. She can infinitely heal everybody forever. She can double all her spells. She has bad boots. Her boots are very ragged. Is the only thing I'll say against Aerith. She has better shoes.
I haven't actually really got a good look at her boots yet.
Man, they're bad. They're bad boots. They're not good.
I'm a fan of her jacket.
She looks like she dresses like she's like, oh, this is my old lady cosplay. Look, guys, I'm 90.
Fashion Central here.
Check it out.
Podcast.
Insulting.
Sex and fashion.
Where are your stylist?
You're actually coming. You're coming right up to where you find that materia, Matt.
Oh, dope.
It is missable.
Oh, you'll have to. I'm pretty good about getting them, unless I have someone to be like.
Yeah.
Well, that time we lost Andy. That wasn't me. That was legitimately we lost Andy on that one.
Comes for all.
I'll tell him to see if he can reconnect.
It's one of the missable ones where you only miss it if you're not paying attention to anything that's going on on the screen at that moment.
Okay, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good about that.
So it's pretty hard to miss, but it is technically missable.
I'm sure we'll be fine. There he is. He's back.
But yeah, I am. I got the championship belt for the squatting minigame.
Oh fuck!
Oh shit!
Which was one of the big pop moments where everybody who saw the remake trailer and the screenshots and everything saw that the squatting minigame was back in the new one, and they're like, yes, give me the squatting minigame.
Those minigames, hot take. I feel like this is a truly hot take. Those minigames fucking suck. Darts sucks.
I mean,
what was the other one I tried?
There's not a lot going on with them.
Box breaker or no, it's not box breaker. It's like way more euphemism for sex. Whack-a-box. Thank you. Smash-a-box? Yeah. I feel like it might be. Is it Whack-a-box?
I think it's Whack-a-box. It might be. No,
I think it might be Smash-a-box.
I want to say Whack-a-box.
Okay.
Smashbox sounds very sexual, so it'd probably suit that game if they called it that.
That's why I think it might be Smash-a-box.
Both of them are equally thirsty.
This sucks. Those games suck. Fuck those minigames. Are terrible.
When you're playing the squat game, you should get your Ring Fit adventure and fucking throw that in there. That'd spice her up a little bit for you.
Oh shit! Simultaneously.
Squat for real.
So I'm just gonna throw it out there. For the championship, I got 52 squats. So
what was the what was the NPC record below you? What was the to beat?
You do head to head against someone.
I see.
And it somewhat seems that their AI kind of scales to how good you're doing. So in the second one, each time I did it, I was kind of learning the ropes, so I would fail once and then beat the person the second time. Just kind of because they mix it up. There's 3 rounds of the minigame, so they kind of mix it up in between each round to keep it a little bit fresh. So I would fail the first time, kind of learning what the new gimmick is in that version, and then stomp it the second time. So in the second round, I lost to the person like 32-30. They got 32 squats. I got 30 squats. So lost by 2, and was pretty disappointed because I'm like, oh man, I could have got there had I just, not fallen at this one moment. Then we would have been gold. But then when I beat him the next time, I had like 46 and he had 42. So it kind of seems like no matter which way it's going, they're either gonna fuck up if you fuck up, or they're gonna do really good if you do really good, so that it keeps it close.
The Mario Kart of
like
squash competitions.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it ended up being 52 to 46 was what the final one was.
Wow.
But incidentally, when I lost that one the time before, it was 37 to 35 or something like that. So
52 squats is the amount to beat.
Yes, if you can beat 52 squats, respect.
I don't like those mini games. There's so many of them.
Yeah, I did a bunch of Moogle Metal farming as well in the Whack-A-Mole or Whack-A-Box mini game.
Fun.
I was doing something else at the time. So I would just load into Whack-A-Box, and the participation medal for just playing the game through the minute and a half is to get a Moogle medal.
Yeah.
So I watched a movie and played through for an hour and a half. Just every once in a while, just jumping back in, getting myself another Moogle medal.
So hardcore. Yeah, Moogle medals, Randall. You know, medals from Moogles. If you
makes sense.
You are.
Are we
around...
talking like a medal, like an Olympic medal, or a medal like an
Olympic medal.
Okay.
If you are around video games enough that if you saw a Moogle, you'd be like, oh, those little, they're like little white teddy bears with like one antenna in the middle of their head. And, I'm sorry to hear that.
He tells me he crafts stuff for me. I take my obsidian and my fire gem, and he puts it together to make a wandering staff.
Fire materia.
Shit. I think it was just a shard, and then like a bunch of shards made a gem, and a bunch of gems made a crystal, and a bunch of crystals made a.
Stop it! A gummy ship.
Instead of squats, you had struggle competitions where you'd have a bat, and you'd fucking collect balls, and you'd hit other people to make the balls fall off of them.
So I wondered if the thing, because there's like apparently one or more things that is very, I don't know, different or something from the original, or I don't know. And I had this real dark, just fleeting thought of like, what if the thing is like Sora shows up at the end of or what if they like officially tie it into Kingdom Hearts in a way where like, here's Cloud going into Kingdom Hearts or whatever, because that's how he gets to the game. And man, what if Kingdom Hearts is in this? What if that's the thing? That was like, no, I can't tell you what it is. You just gotta, you'll know. You'll know.
Yeah, that's
James
actually.
I'm back in.
Envy you a little bit with going into this without playing the original, because almost every scene I find myself thinking back at how it was in the original game and wondering, okay, well, are they going to do it in this one? If they are going to do it, how are they going to do it in this one, or are they going to change it completely? And I find a lot of the story beats and everything like that. I just, in the back of my head, I'm like, is this going to happen? Does this mean this is about to happen? And then when it doesn't happen, I'm kind of like, does it mean it's not going to happen, or does it mean it's just not going to happen yet? So apparently, there's a lot of analysis going on behind the scenes when I'm playing that game, and it doesn't take away from the experience of the story that they're trying to tell, but it definitely influences it for sure.
Yeah. Apparently a lot of people, just from like anecdotes on Reddit and stuff, didn't even realize that like Jessie was a lady in the original Final Fantasy VII. Like a lot of that stuff is so... I mean, I saw the model and like, it's hard to tell unless they have cone boobs like Tifa. It's very hard to tell. Like, I don't know, it just sort of looks like a person. But like I should almost play the original 7 after, because like seeing some of that stuff in the original and the way that they have gone from like, you know, we had 4 lines of dialogue, like it just text dialogue and a quick little scene with the 4 3D sprites we had, and then they expanded it out into like a 25-minute cutscene in the remake, and like, oh fuck, like that train thing. I watched the original train thing. Is kind of what I'm talking about, and like to see the way that they expanded that out, and like even just like, oh, I can see the old like matte painting Midgar. I can totally fucking see that in the new 3D Midgar, and like having that original knowledge would be super dope. But at the same time, It is so fucking incredible and so anime to meet all these new characters and be like, who? What? Who's this? This man is using a motorcycle like a sword? Is that... Who the fuck is this? What is happening?
That sounds dope.
Take my money.
It's pretty good. I'm really liking what I've played of it.
As soon as I heard that, sorry to sidetrack, but the first thing I thought was, I hope somebody uses a motorcycle as a sword in the new Fast and Furious movie.
That'd be...
I want that to be a thing now.
That'll probably happen too, though.
Justice for Han. Dope. You know what's big in Japan? Transformers.
Han.
Oh.
Yeah.
This podcast. Huge in Japan. Final Fantasy VII continues to be very good. It's super horny, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. I realized this week it's okay.
Stop saying that like it's a bad thing.
When I started playing Final Fantasy VII, I was a little skeeved out by it, to be honest. I have a very low tolerance for the horniness usually. But I don't know. I guess I've become
Things can be 10 out of 10 horny as long as they're not like you're an underage woman and I am a grown ass man horny.
Let me tell you about anime.
They've learned about that in the new Final Fantasy games, where now they just don't tell you anyone's age.
Mm-hmm. It's like Persona, where they're like, "Oh, you're high school students, huh?" They're like, "Well, we're of age." You're like, "Oh, thank God."
All right, I'm good.
That's what you will.
Cleared of all charges, I guess, Your Honor. But that's a great analogy. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Where like even starting to play Persona, I'm like, "Ooh, Persona's not nearly as horny as Final Fantasy, but you know, it's still it's a trope to anime, and my tolerance is increasing. It used to be very, 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 very low. And then I played Metal Gear 4, which is, you know, pretty horny.
It's pretty horny. There's actually a lot of sexual stuff going on underneath the surface of Metal Gear 4.
Oh, Kojima's one of the worst. Kojima is maybe the worst for it. Have you seen Quiet?
He's almost worse because he's not surfacing it all. You're really getting a look into Kojima like, the fuck happened to you?
Yeah, and even when you call him out on it, and you're like, what's going on? Coach, why so horny? He's like, you will be ashamed of your words and actions, is his response to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Coach.
It's needed for the plot.
That's what I'm going to say next time somebody calls me out on something like that. You'll be ashamed for your words and actions.
That's right.
How dare you?
It works.
That is literally word for word the translation of what he said when people were like, "Dog, what's up with Quiet? Why aren't you wearing clothes? What's going on?" And we were.
You will be ashamed.
Were we ashamed? I can't remember.
We were. No, not really. It was like she had a story reason for it. Remember, she's a plant lady who photosynthesizes or whatever. Yeah, she can't wear clothes because she needs sun. And fuck you, Kojima. You just want to have a naked lady in your game.
Imagine going up and talking to Quiet and being like, "Why are you dressing all like that?" And she's like, "I breathe through my skin." Then you'd be like,
"Oh, I'm so ashamed of my
sorry,
my words and deeds."
Just
sorry for my
shuffle
ignorance.
off with my head down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, she was modest in that she covered up even a little bit. I mean, she shouldn't have to. She breathes through her skin.
Yeah. She's suffocating for you, Matt.
She's probably a little bit hungry all the time.
We danced in the rain. I don't even know what you're talking about. Remember when she knifed that dude in the dick, holding a knife on her boot?
It's Quiet the one I killed.
Okay. Yeah, you can kill her. You don't have to. But it's not permanent. Don't worry. If you did kill Quiet and you are ashamed of your words and deeds, you can get her back.
Oh, I don't know how to do that, and I'm never going back. So, I just remember going into that. I knew Brando had done it. Nobody had told me what the moment was, but I think Warren was saying it. It was just like, or maybe it was you even, Eads. Andy, it was one spot. Brando killed this person. Don't kill them. I was like, okay. And I knew when I got to that cutscene, I knew what was going on. I was like, okay, fuck, this is it. This is the one I got to be careful of. And somehow I fucked up and accidentally hit the trigger button and shot her. I think I was trying to like get out of it or something. And then I was like, and then instantly,
it makes it pretty obvious what you're going to do.
I don't know what happened.
It's like 5 codec calls. Like, boss, are you sure? Yeah. You gotta click through like 8 menus and
you like pull the trigger once, and they're like, "Oh, you're lucky your gun jammed." You want to do that?
I might have had a couple bevies or something. Oh, first it jammed and then it was unloaded. What? You sure? And I'm like, what? But I just remember after it happened, though, it was pretty funny because instantly it saved like right afterwards because that was my first thought is I need to like close the game. But nope, they did not hesitate on fucking locking that storyline down. So
it was for
anyways,
I have a bad have a bad habit of when presented with the option to kill a character, doing it and then just like saying some Schwarzenegger line at my TV, and then usually 15 hours of gameplay later being like,
diplomatic
this game's
immunity.
really dope without.
It's really dope when they're actually there.
You go for you go for the kill, hey Brando. I'm always the like, if I kill this character, they're gonna have 0 dialogue going forward, and I bet any dialogue is more interesting than 0. So I always default to more characters is better, unless they're like real.
I shouldn't say I always do, because I usually default to more of a Paragon path on my first playthrough of any game. But I think I'm always fascinated with how they rewrite around a primary character not being there.
Yeah.
And some games don't do it well, and then it's not worth it. And some games do it well, and then it's super, super neat to talk to you and be like, oh, it's crazy if she's not there.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 3 did not do it well. Mass Effect 3, any character you killed in Mass Effect 2, they just put another person of the same species in with slightly altered dialogue.
Really?
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That is fucked. So Morden didn't make it out. It was just a random Solarian being like, instead of it
I never did the Morden
like,
one,
what's that? Or whatever.
I remember Rex not making it out of the first game, and then the second game, you had just like a random Krogan was on the throne.
Yeah.
And I think it was the second game.
Or not Joseph, right. Or it was like, oh, I'm Rex's long lost brother, Mex.
Yeah, and UJ, and he was like, this was the second time I had played through, and it was like, oh, you're telling me the same story beats, but there's just no familiarity there at all.
Yeah,
like they're objectively worse conversations when you didn't get your character through to the next game.
And then to do the Citadel DLC, you wouldn't even get the Shepherd, the two Krogans who say Shepherd too much, realizing they say Shepherd too much, and like making a big meme out of it. God,
if you are playing Mass Effect ever for the first time, keep everyone alive. Because there is actually one thing that game does well, and it's giving you good renegade options to keep everyone alive. Generally, if someone dies, it is you failed to go hard enough in one direction or another. Mm-hmm. It is not that you had to be a good guy to save them.
A good guy regardless, just how you go about it.
Yeah.
Kevin, Final Fantasy VII, any closing thoughts here to bring it back to FF7 Remake as we continue to play through it, you and I?
I'm just looking forward to the next time I can play. Probably get some hands on it tomorrow.
Can I don't know if I want the answer to these questions. I'm just gonna. What's up with Cowgirl Tifa?
I don't know if I want any more answers either.
Have you seen like weird flashbacks? I don't want the answer. Okay. There's weird flashbacks, and Tifa is in what I think is the world's funniest cowboy costume. You don't have to plug your ears. You don't have to plug your ears.
You will.
We'll see where.
I don't know what it is in relation to this game, but I know what it's in relation to in the last game.
Okay, all right, great.
So
Chocobo Rancher, obviously.
It's a very, very interesting story moment.
Okay, great.
So I'm excited to see what they do with that in this game.
Good. You guys are clear. You guys are
good. Does that game come out on
playing Final Fantasy VII? Never.
I'm 100% going to play. I didn't know Andy was interested.
Say again, Andy. When is it? What?
Yeah, like when can I play it on Xbox or on computer?
Probably next June. No, probably a year, or not June. It's a year exclusivity, and it says right on the front of the box, exclusive to PlayStation for 1 year. So it is
does it
almost
really?
it is almost certainly coming to PCs, and if it comes to Windows PCs, it will very, very likely come to Xbox.
Yeah. This is all going to be the same.
Yeah.
I thought
15 came to Xbox too. So
what game's coming out a month after on everything else? What game was that? I thought it was Final Fantasy. I'm thinking of another game though.
Control was one. The Control DLC.
Maybe that's what you guys are talking about. I just remember
the Modern Warfare remake is.
That's the one. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I got them crossed. I thought one. Yeah, I thought Final Fantasy was one.
Modern Warfare 2? Oh, is exclusive.
Modern Warfare 2 campaign is exclusive right now, but only for like a month.
I see. Yeah. And yes,
in fact,
Control
that's I think out next week.
Control is June.
Yeah.
Control's later.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought Final Fantasy was only a month, so okay. Damn, that sucks, but yeah, whatever.
Games,
Plug your ears for a
Kevin?
long time.
What is Save Scumming for Life?
So I have recently discovered that Octopath Traveler allows for some pretty glorious save scumming in that game.
You wouldn't dare.
AI.
Oh, I would. I would dare, and I gladly dare.
You've changed. You've changed, Kevin.
Not true. One of the characters has an ability where they can steal from pretty much anyone you can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And I found one character who has this axe that is like literally 15 times statted better than anything I've found so far. And it has a 3% chance to steal it. So the way that the game kind of builds it is you can fail in a town doing these little role tasks, whatever the path actions is what they're called. So each character has a different path action. One of the characters, Therian, is able to steal as his path action. If you fail a path action 6 times in a given town, your reputation suffers, and you have to pay to fix your reputation before you can go back and try to steal from people in that town again. So if you save and then fail 6 times, you can either pay 2,500 leaves to fix your reputation, or you can just reload and pretend it never happened. So I did that for about 5 minutes, maybe. I thought it would take way longer, but then I quickly realized that I could steal from it like 6 times every 30 seconds or so, and 6 shots every 30 seconds for a 3% chance. Turns out, happens pretty quick.
Yeah, that wouldn't take. That'd be like what, 10 minutes maybe if you ran average.
Yeah, I got it in about 5, maybe.
It's because you run so good. It's because your middle name is Lucksack, Kevin Lucksack Buyer.
True, it is. I think it took me 4 or 5 reloads before I got it.
Oh, that's not bad.
So yeah, like this item is literally, most of the things I have are like plus 15, plus 16 to an attack stat, or plus 30 to an attack stat if it's like a good item that I have so far.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing is like plus 288.
You got the Drake sword of Octopath. You shot the dragon in the tail 500 times. You got the super sword. Yeah. Damn.
So yeah, there's a bunch of items kind of around the world that have really low steal chance on them. So I might get them all. There's a few that have a 0% steal chance, and I'm like, well, that's just bullshit. How the hell do I get something when it's 0%?
How do you get something when it's 0%?
1,000 tries.
I think as your level goes up, the chances that he can steal stuff increases as well too, doesn't it? It's like with the
that I couldn't verify.
Yeah,
it
so
seems
I think
at least with some of the other actions, it seems to be based on the town it is. So your starting town, you can always do your path action 100% of the time. You never fail. And then the next town over is kind of a little harder, and then the next town over is a little harder, kind of thing. That's kind of how I think it happens. But like I say, I'm only 10 hours into the game so far, so I don't really know entirely how it works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as you level up, you'll have a better chance of those path actions landing, because it's like the one guy too, like the hunter, and then I think the knight. You can fight whoever you want and try to take their items or whatever, right? Well, as you level up, you get stronger, so there's a better chance you can take down guys that are stronger and you go to fight them. There's the one chick that's like a merchant, and you can buy items off of people instead of stealing them. The idea is that as you level up higher, she gets better at bartering, so she'll get items down lower, and then you'll be able to purchase them for cheaper as opposed to doing it at a lower level. So yeah, I think as you level up, it'll be easier to get this stuff.
She's the one that I'm unlocking next. I have Ophelia the cleric. I have Hanit the hunter. I have Cyrus the scholar.
He's dope.
Yeah, Cyrus is pretty cool. I have Therian the thief, and I just got, starts with an A. He's an alchemist of sorts.
I want to say Ashton.
That these
Alphen. Yeah, there we go.
It's crazy that these people took professions with the same name or letter as their name.
Cyrus is a C.
Fuck
Safety's always off.
Yeah, so I got 3 more characters to unlock.
Viruses is
For like chapter 1 of everyone's story, and then who knows how long the game is going to last. I hear it's like 100 hours if you try to do everything, which I'm probably going to try and do everything.
It's probably let's get a real estimate on that right now.
Who did you start with, Kevin? Who was your first guy?
I started with Ophelia, my girl Feely.
Is she the holy one?
Yeah.
Let's see. Completionist. About 105 hours for completionist, but that means literally every single piece of content in the entire game.
Yep.
Main plus extra is about 80 hours.
Shit. So yeah, either way, whichever way you look at it, I'm in it for the long haul.
Yeah, about twice as long as Final Fantasy VII Remake, apparently.
Yeah.
That game squeezed in as Talking Reckless best looking nominee, despite only 2 people playing it at the time.
It's a gorgeous game. It's really pretty.
Even just looking at the screenshots, you can see how good it looks. So it deserves its spot.
The only thing I found with it that was a little uncreative was I didn't really care for any of the monsters that you fought. I thought that they were a little underwhelming compared to the rest of the game.
Yeah. Other than the boss fights, every random battle fight is very, very generic. You just basically look at how many shields it has for how many times you have to break it, and that's really all you care about. They could have just had a colored blob just sitting on the screen, and it would have felt the same as what the enemies feel like.
Yeah, there's nothing memorable about them. I'm never like, oh no, I'm gonna see these guys here. It's just like, oh, that fucking bird thing again. Oh no. Like, there's never left an impression. But the bosses are cool, though.
And I think, because it seems like the zones kind of scale with you as you level up, too. So I think that's kind of an issue with it, too. So they kind of just repeated a bunch of the same character models and just, this one is stronger than the last one kind of thing.
This wolf is level 50 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And a slightly different shade. There was actually one moment where I was freaking out because I was attacking 2 enemies that looked exactly the same. And one of them was weak to swords, but the other one was not weak to swords. And I was freaking out because I'm like, I just hit this guy with a sword and it worked last time. How come it didn't work this time? And then the chat, because I played on stream, chat was like, well, if you actually notice, there is a small stripe of blue discoloration on the dark blue of the actual figure. So it is a different mob altogether.
You fucking stupid, Kevin? Huh?
I know, right? Apparently I was
low intelligent. Are you an idiot?
I fucking hate how chat sounds.
Now I've been really paying attention to stuff like that. And the character that we just unlocked, Alphen, his medicine satchel, because he's an apothecary, so he carries around a medicine satchel with him all the time. It switches shoulders all the time as he's moving. So just
chafing. If I had a bag, I would totally be like keeping it even.
Details. Props to the game for noticing that. Yeah,
that's right.
Details.
Big ups.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
He said he was out the first time.
Have you played with him much, Kevin? One thing with him that I thought was cool, but also didn't understand, was how you could take ingredients and like combine them together to make different potions and stuff. But I never took the time to actually figure out what any of it did. So I've just randomly concocted stuff and be like, "Well, I hope this heals my guy." Oh, wait, that was for poison, which he's not, but she is. Should have used her.
No, that's totally how it feels so far. It feels to me a lot like the Final Fantasy X. Riku character. She had a mixing ability, and it's one of those ones where on the surface level it seems like impossible to figure out and totally random because there's so many different combinations of items. How could you ever know what's going to work and what's going to be good? But if you get into the actual figuring it out and looking at all the graphs and figuring out the best things to use, it's probably super OP. But it's one of those things that you have to do the background research and realize what items you want to hang on to and which ones you want to mix them with. So it seems like it's a really cool system on the surface. But like in Final Fantasy X, I just don't have I just don't care enough to delve into it and make use of it, even though I know that it's probably super powerful. It's just there's just so much there that I just don't even want to dip my toes into it.
That is exactly how I felt about the catching the personas system in Persona 5 of like, this is the most, I don't even remember how it goes now. You're like, they each have a random stat assigned to them, like, oh, this one's angry, and then you have 3 totally random dialogue options to be like, which one do I think an angry persona? And just like that, like, this is how you get the good personas. This is like Pokemon. This is how you catch the powerful Pokemon. Fuck it, I'm not gonna do any of it. Nope. 100 hours. I ended Persona with the same persona I started that game with in my group, which apparently is a big no-no.
Yeah. Fuck them for saying that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they were right. I really worked myself into a fucking hole by the end of that game. Any other games, Kevin?
No, that's kind of it. A couple ARAMs at the old League of Legends, but
ARAMs.
Fuck's an ARAM.
Yeah, we call them ARAMs here in Canada. All random, all middle is a type of a mode in MOBAs. You know, there are usually 3 lanes in a MOBA. Top, bottom, middle, or left, right, middle, or whatever. All random, all middle is when everybody gets a random hero and everyone has to go middle lane, so it's just like a kind of a goofy 5-on-5 fight for the entire thing.
Fuck chaos.
Yeah, they're fun. They're really fun and they're fast, usually.
Chaos. Yeah, you can usually pound one out in about 15-20 minutes. A long game would be like 25 minutes.
Yeah. Boy, where to start? I played a lot of video games this week. A lot of Final Fantasy VII, which we talked about. There's a new XCOM game came out today. News broke on that last week. Chimera Squad, which I've been playing a few hours. I started today, played, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, something like that. It's $10 right now, goes up to $20 next week. Boy, where to start? You know XCOM? It's a lot like XCOM. I don't even really know where to get into it. It is a lot like XCOM. It is a top-down, on a grid, tactics base. The moveset is kind of the same. You have a run, or like a move, and then a second move, or you can dash, or you can move and shoot, or you can move in action. It plays like XCOM. There's half cover, full cover. If you look and be like, wow, this is XCOM. What's different is Andy, are your lights automatic? What keeps happening? And now they're changing color?
Sorry. Don't worry about me. Just keep talking. I'm just trying to make it
I want to make sure everything's... I like the cops are busting in over there, like the fucking spotlight in the door.
It's just so dark. I'm just trying to fix it. Sorry. Keep going. Don't worry about
me. Chimera Squad. Very much like XCOM, except instead of a base and base management, and kind of building soldiers, they have seemingly sort of stripped away a lot of that, where you have, I think there are 11 squaddies, if I remember the news story from last week. There are 11 characters, I think, and they all have names. They're all voiced with unique voices. They have kind of backstories. They're telling a narrative in these kind of hand-drawn scenes that they show. Whereas in XCOM 2, you were just recruiting squaddies, and then you were just customizing. You name them yourself. So like this one, you name after your friends usually. Like, oh, it's Andy, and Brando's the sniper, and Kevin's the support guy, and Kevin didn't make it through the mission, or whatever it is. Customizing your squad was a big part of it, because you kind of got attached to those people. But in this game, they are unique characters, and they all have it seems like they all have a unique ability to each of them that you can use freely every single turn, which is a big change for XCOM. So one of them, for example, every turn, this guy can put a shield on someone, and that shield will absorb all the damage from one attack, and it will also charge up. He has a meter he's building called Charge, which he can spend on resources. Another one is you just heal somebody. You just heal somebody for 4, which previously would have been a med pack item that you use, and it's gone. Now it is just a little robot that goes over and does it. Or like one is pull an enemy to you, like Scorpion Spirit enemy, and the lady even says, "Get over here," and then you kind of wrap them up. She's a snake. She's a snake alien lady, and she wraps them up and binds them for a turn, like the enemies used to do to you in XCOM 2. And so all the characters have these super unique abilities, and a lot of them are about like positioning people, or you're denying enemies from getting turns. And there's this whole nother level of strategy to it, where it feels more like Into the Breach than it does kind of base XCOM, where Like I had a thing today where I was able to like manipulate one of these enemies that blows up on death and pull it closer to a guy and then mind control that guy and get him to kill that enemy so it blew up and killed him as well. And it's just all these like these situations that could never show up in XCOM because you didn't have the abilities for them. Where it is simultaneously obviously the same game and you're playing it the same and a lot of the strategies still apply, but it is really, really, really different in the way that just the squaddies are. There's no base management. It doesn't seem like you're kind of you have sort of different positions your squaddies can go into. Where I'm researching, I'm building items, I'm training. That's kind of out of XCOM. The actual maps themselves are broken into encounters now. So previously in XCOM, you would spawn on a map. And until you just move around until you saw an enemy, and then those enemies would alert, and any enemies around them would alert. So you were really incentivized to like explore slowly because you didn't want to discover somebody and then have them come to life and bring 200 other enemies to life. In Chimera Squad, every enemy on the board, you you sort of know where every enemy is. It's broken into encounters, and you are breaching at the start of every encounter. So every encounter, and some of these missions are 2, 3, 4 encounters. Every encounter starts with you starting at a breaching screen where it'll have several options to get into the place. It's got a window, and if you go through the window, it'll have this effect where you're up high in the window, so you have better accuracy, but you might take damage because you're crawling through glass or whatever. There's a security door that if you had the foresight to bring a key card thing, you can hack that security door and get a flank on them. There is whatever. And so you set up units to breach through particular spots. You click the breach button. They do the breach, which is kind of like this weird pre-turn where you have your breach action to quickly kill everybody you see because they're going to fire back in some cases, or sometimes they're surprised and they won't. And then once that breach round is done, then you're just playing XCOM with new abilities. Until that encounter's done. And then everybody reloads and goes and they all just run to the next map, and then you're breaching again in the next encounter. But you still have the same.
A little more of a strategy in terms of placement and everything right off the hop than you had in original XCOM. I mean,
totally.
You place your units in original XCOM, didn't you?
Well, they would get off a dropship, and then you would just start exploring, and you would like discover enemies and be like, oh fuck, there's a whole pack over here. Whoops.
But you never said like, oh, I want my sniper up here to start. Everyone would get randomly dropped, and then you would run from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Whereas in this, you can. Go ahead.
Do you, like, for the breach abilities, like, do you know going ahead into a mission, like, okay, I know there's going to be a security door in this mission, so I know to bring a key card, or is it more?
It'll give you like it gives you a ballpark of like a high chance of security doors and electronic locks and whatever breaching charge doors or whatever. So it does give you a little bit of a heads up of like you might want to consider bringing this stuff.
And is there any penalty to bring the stuff? Like, it costs you resources to bring everything with you?
It costs money to buy. So, like, that key card I could have bought 2 assault rifles with the amount that key card cost me or whatever.
And if you don't use it in a mission, can you take it back, or is it a one-time use kind of thing?
As far as I know, all the items, I think including grenades, because I don't know if I use a grenade or not. As far as I know, the items are buy them and keep them. Buy a grenade. You can only use it once a mission, but next mission your grenade is respawned or whatever. As far as I know, it'd be fucked if they didn't because they're really expensive. It's cool though. Like it is familiar XCOM, but it is a like completely new spin on it with just a few kind of simple changes. And for $10, it feels fucking awesome.
I was gonna ask, does it feel like there's a very good through line without having that base part of it?
Totally. Yeah, like if you've never ever in your life played XCOM, this is still a fine tactics game. Like there's no, I don't know if there is. I know there is like a canon ending to XCOM 1 and 2, but I don't know the story at all. They say this is 5 years after XCOM won the war. You're like, oh, okay, great. XCOM beat the aliens and here we are. I really like it.
Good.
It's weird.
Sounds cool.
Price is right.
Yeah, it's really cheap. It does go up. I think it's like $20 after May 1st or something. So this first week it is half off. It's a weird.
That sounds dope.
It's a weird little phantom release where like we just the news that it existed broke a week ago. Poof, here it is, which seems a little weird until you consider that Gears Tactics comes out on Tuesday. I think Gears Tactics is out next week, which again is another one of those style of games. Pardon me. Which also looks really good. Gears Tactics.
Yeah,
surprisingly,
this is made to be a tactics game.
Looks so fucking good and unique and weird. Kevin, have you seen a Gears Tactics?
Yeah, I totally think it looks great.
I can
depending on how much it is, I might. No, seriously. Depending on how much it is, I might pick it up.
Oh, dope. Hey, you don't have a. We'll talk.
Xbox.
I was gonna say you don't have an Xbox One, but I know we can game share. Similarly, maybe we can Game Pass for PC or something. I know that Gears of War 1 has 3 actions, and anytime you chainsaw or execute an enemy, everyone on your team, I think, gains another action. So you are like, it seems like you are like stacking turns in a weird way that you're not. It seems really different than XCOM. I'm actually like really weirdly excited for it.
And you can like stack like you can use all 3 of your actions on like constant machine gun fire.
Yeah, shoot all 3 actions if you want.
Yeah.
It seems really weird. What else did I play? So that's Chimera Squad, XCOM Chimera Squad. It's standalone, totally. I would really recommend it. If you like tactics games at all, or maybe think you do, $10 is real cheap to get in. And then I also played a little bit of Valorant right before the stream here. That is Riot's new free-to-play shooter. I ran the Twitch bot. I got the code. Took me like 40 hours or something. And by ran the Twitch bot, I mean I just left my computer on. It's Counter-Strike. It's 5-on-5 Counter-Strike. One team is defusing a bomb, one team is setting a bomb. The time to kill is fucking fast. Like, one headshot, you're dead type stuff. Just like Counter-Strike. They have 10 heroes who I've only played 2 of and am grossly unfamiliar with the abilities, but a lot of it seems like kind of area control stuff, where a lot of it to me seems like they took the grenades from Counter-Strike. You know, here's the Molotov cocktail, right? It makes a big line of fire. It blocks off an area of the map so that they have to use a different one. And they just turned it into an Overwatch power. So instead, it's an ice wall that grows out of the ground. Or, you know, there's the smoke bomb is on a power. I haven't really played enough to formulate an opinion, I guess. It seems really competent. It seems, if you like Counter-Strike, you'll probably really like it. If you like Overwatch, you'll probably, well, depending on what you're into, you might not like it, because it's one of those you die and you're out games. You die and then you're out, you wait till the next round.
Ooh, I suck too much at games to do that.
Yeah, the rounds are fast, usually, because of that.
We play so many battle royales.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know. I liked what I played. It is one of those games that totally relies on communication, like 100%, just like Counter-Strike, where the team that uses mics, as much as I hate to say it, is always going to win almost, because it is so much about positioning, and kind of the more you play of games like this, like Counter-Strike, and is the only one I've played, and the only one I can actually relate it to, but the more you play, the more you realize it is less about being a good shooter. It still definitely is a skill you need, being able to be accurate, but it's much more about just being in a spot, just being in an area which, you know, stops them from running through this way so we can go plant the bomb there. And I didn't kill anybody, but I still helped this team win just by, it's called pressuring, just by pressuring one area or something.
Yeah, that's what I always say I'm doing.
Yeah, that's me. I'm pressuring long. Pressuring A long. There's a weird thing where...
missing.
Yeah, MIA. There's a weird thing where, so in these games there's always call-outs, right? Because just like I said, like long and short are usually ones. A, B, there are bomb sites. I played a map with 3 bomb sites on it, which was fucking wild. Had A, B, and C. That's crazy. There's already this like colloquial dialogue. People have all these code names for things, which if you press M on the map, they have names for everything. Where like, oh, this area is called Garden, and this says like Garden Cubby, Garden High, Garden Low, Garden Long, Garden Short, and they're all pretty obvious of like, this one's low, this one's high, this is the sniper one, it's long, this one has corners, it's short. People have their own made up name for them, where they're like, I'm getting shot from heaven. Like, open the map. I don't see heaven. I know what I've played enough of these to know that heaven usually means the high spot. So I'm like, okay, they're probably talking about this. What the fuck was the other one I heard? Green. Oh yeah, we got one guy on short green. I'm like looking at the map, and then nothing says green. There's garden might be green. I don't know. There's like field might be green, but all this fucking made up the name for things has already cropped up. And it's still in beta, like it's still in super closed beta. So getting into it, having people be like, hey dude, I need you to go over to like whatever, gas station. Like, dude, there's no gas. What do you... Okay, and just fucking go whatever way.
You got
I
it,
said
man.
gas
I'm gonna go
station.
pressure.
Yeah, and so today was like my 5th game, and we ran into somebody who they weren't being super toxic, but it was enough that I just immediately muted them. Where, you know, when like because everyone dies, so you're spectating the last player. You know, when like maybe in Call of Duty or something, everyone's dead and they're watching you, and you know you're the last player, and then someone just walks around a corner and like. You just stop functioning from whatever the pressure. You're like, duh, and you just look at the sky or whatever and die. It was one of those moments where that happened, and this person, who of course was bottom of the scoreboards, is immediately like, "What the fuck are you doing? Come on, buddy! What the fuck? What are you?" And like, just immediately, just mute the whole team.
Yeah.
This is a Riot game. One of the League was incredibly toxic when I played years and years ago. I'm sure it's even worse now. And for a game that relies so heavily on like communication stuff, I wonder if it's going to suffer because of that.
Don't ever talk to anyone.
It's like Rainbow Six, I guess. You know, Rainbow Six, the communication is such a key tool in Siege. But I don't know, man. Coming out, like all the League of Legends players, probably all the shitheads who were banned from League of Legends are like, well, I'll go play a fucking shooter game. Or maybe their Riot accounts are linked or whatever, but I don't know. I'm very worried the toxicity is going to bleed in, and I have zero fucking tolerance for it. You guys know me. Zero tolerance. Somebody says one thing to me, and I'm just like, you motherfucker! Table over, yelling at 14-year-olds.
We got it pretty good because usually whenever that happens to us, we're playing with Warren, and we just say, Warren, go hop in their party. And then Warren goes in there, and he takes care of it for us. So we're always really chill with that stuff. Yeah, this guy sent us an invite. Warren, go get him. He's just like, I'll be right back.
It's very much the end game scene with Korg and Thor, where anytime anyone's mean to me and Andy, we'll be like, Warren, this guy's being mean to us. And you just fucking disappear, jump into their party.
Puts on the fucking
comes
headset.
back, and he'll be like, he won't be bothering you anymore.
Comes back and gets us the cold notes of what happened.
Yeah.
He leaves that party, and everyone in that party is just crying as soon as he leaves. Oh, that guy's so mean to us.
Sometimes he'll come back. We're just like, what'd you go over there and do, Warren? He's just like, oh, I just hopped in and went, and then left. Like, good.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that sounds well like Warren.
They're not coming around here anymore. Bunch of dickheads.
Valorant seems very neat. It's got an interesting art style where even not knowing what those abilities do, you can look at something and be like, oh, that's a wall that's probably going to poison me. I shouldn't walk into that. And sure enough, got a good visual language. I wonder if it'll come to I wonder if it'll come to consoles or not.
Sounds like too much communication with people I don't like. So
yeah, here, brother. You're fucking here. That's me in a nutshell. Let's take a quick break here. We'll come back. Talk about some news. Wow, everybody contributed to news this week. We're going to do it a little differently. This time, you're not going to want to miss this incredibly exciting news segment coming up after this.
Mine's going to be the best. Brando sucks.
Mine's the best.
Musical break. Brando's legitimately sucks. Newsbeard, don't forget.
All right, fire up the news theme. Let's go.
All right, here it is. The news of the week. There's that theme you know and love so well. Sony is scaling back PS5 production, apparently due to price. Straight to Bloomberg this week. The PS5s might be a little hard to find at launch, so they might not be hard to find at launch. They're only going to make about 5 to 6 million PS5s at launch, which is way down from the 7.5 million PS4s that they actually sold through. They sold out of PS4s. They were flying off the shelves, if you remember.
What are you doing there? Look like jacking off two people.
Yeah, two people skiing. They're flying off the shelves. They're flying off the shelves. Launch price ballparked about they say $499 to $550. And we are in a weird spot in the world. You know the world is kind of fucked right now. So maybe the thinking is people will maybe not have the disposable income that they would normally have. Maybe particular components are going to be super expensive because certain countries are affected by the quarantine right now. There's a lot of No one really knows the thinking. Certainly there is a good solid business through line they have, but it's just ours to guess. $499 to $550.
I'm actually shocked at this point that that both companies have not come out and said this is impossible. It astounds me that it's still a realistic target to get these things out. And it makes me wonder, either these are done way earlier than I have in my head, where they're not rushing to meet this deadline in the way they are with video games, or this is way more important to their bottom line to hit this target than I thought it was.
It's funny you bring that up. The Bloomberg story even mentions like a 6 to 12 month pushback on hardware is not only would it make sense, it's almost expected, because even if these consoles do come out in, they said holiday, so say December at the absolute latest, probably November, right? Because you want them on shelves for Christmas. Are there going to be any games? Who's going to buy a PS5 if there are no launch titles? If the launch titles are like, I honestly don't even, Persona 5 The Royal or whatever the remaster, or not the remaster, but the new edition of it is, like old remasters from PS4 games. You know, God of War running at 60. Is that enough to sell a PS5?
Oh yeah, I was shaking my head no on that whole thing, and then you said that, and I'm like, yes, bring it on.
Bloodborne running at 60. Now we're talking.
Shit,
it's gonna be weird. The $499 to $550 price tag is not really that crazy, I guess, when you consider the PS4 launch at $400, which apparently is like $450.
American, remember?
Yeah. Well, yes, and our dollar is in the fucking toilet. But the PS4 did launch at about $450, so that's fairly close. And again, that $500 to $550 price tag assumes that Sony is actually making a profit on the console, which historically they never have. So
I'm going to say game, extra controller, which I always get, and then Canadian. I'm going to say I'm probably spending almost $1,000.
Let's see, 550 CAD, or no, 550 USD to CAD today, and it's only going to get worse.
Say a $70 controller.
We don't really. Oh yeah, okay, right. So
$775.
That's $620 USD then to CAD. So that's only $875. That's only 900 Canadian dollars.
Plus a game.
Yeah, that's another $70 American.
80.
690 USD. So that is right under 1,000 CAD. You're right. Yeah, 972, 79 CAD.
That's kind of what I think. And honestly, that's if I don't get a hard drive day one.
By the time the hard drives, depending on which system you get, are going to be super expensive. I don't have it in my head which one. One is proprietary drives again. I feel like it's Microsoft, because they were the big fuckers for it with the 360 of like, do you want to pay $499 for a 250 gig hard drive? No, I don't, Microsoft.
No.
But that's your only option. That wouldn't have been Phil at that point. That would have been Tracksuit.
Wait, it's going to be Phil this time.
Yeah. Well, which is why I'm so shocked, Phil. What are you doing?
Yeah. What was that guy's name?
I can't. Don Matrick.
Tommy Lasorda.
It was Don Matrick wearing a tracksuit and doing the. I think it was Don, right? Don was the one who came out for it's always online. If you want to play offline, we got a console for you. It's called the 360.
Go get fucked.
Yeah, I think that was him. It's called Boom Double Birds.
You live in a third world nation? Try Connect 4.
Yes, very expensive, very very expensive. And we in Canada, our dollar's going to be lower. We an oil country, and I mean we don't talk about economics here, but God help us.
Our economics ain't good.
They're very bad. They're very bad. WWE 2K. Hang on, are these actually in the order we want to read them in? Yeah. WWE 2K20 is going to be skipping a year. WWE 2K, the wrestling franchise, is going to be skipping 2020 for the first time in 20 years. This will be the 20th year. We will not have a 2K wrestling game.
Are they doing that because they're going to figure out what they've been doing wrong?
Definitely not.
No.
Or are they doing?
That's not why they did it. They did it because of the virus. If there wasn't a virus, they were 100% going to put the same thing out.
That's right, Andy. No,
This This was the first time that the WWE game was actually going to be in step with the storyline of actual WWE. So because WWE is all fucked up, that's why the game got canceled.
Oh.
So this was the year that they were going to turn it around.
I would play a game that was essentially Boneyard Match Create or John Cena's introspective career inside his own head.
Such good shit, Simulator 2021.
Yeah, I feel like this was a missed opportunity on their part. There's a lot they could have done with this. They fucked up. Idiots.
So 2K19 was the last one by Ukes. Halfway through 2K20, it got passed off to, I always fuck this up, Creative Visions, the NBA team. And 2K20, the worst maybe the worst it's ever been. Like, fucking terrible. And not surprising. They handed the game off to a different team, and then they tried to put it out 2 months later and all this. So to answer your question, Andy, they are skipping a year because their game has been a fucking tire fire that has only been growing in size since like 2014, maybe 2015. And they desperately.
I honestly don't believe that.
You think they were like good years, bad years, or you think it is because of the pandemic?
I think it is partially because all because of the virus, partially because of video game development, and partially because their own internal issues. Having a product, I think they've kind of got all hands on deck on just keeping the show on the air.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think if COVID-19 did not happen, I fully think there would be a WWE 2K21.
The only reason I'm a little hesitant to think that is because I think, did we not run a story on the podcast about how it was rumored to have been canceled like 6 months ago? Or maybe even before 2K20 came out?
No, I think we might have ran something that said it did not do well. Like in an earnings call. They said it did not do well, but I do not think that was associated. I don't know. I think
they would. I mean, it would not be out of character.
Really bad games have come out.
I was going to say.
Made the next game.
They've never given a single fuck until now, so yeah, you're probably right. The series desperately needs it.
I don't know.
And there is supposed to be another wrestling game that Ukes is working on that may or may not be out this year that they've said is not a WWE game, I believe. It's a non-WWE wrestling game.
I feel like this game is also like Star Citizen and World Peace, where everyone is just like, you guys hear about that Ukes? I hear there's a fucking Ukes game.
I heard that's actually a Dragon Ball Z game.
Oh, in the ring, though.
That's right. Well, World Tournament. Both feet touch the ground. It's Royal Rumble style, just like the Cell games. Both feet touch the ground, you're out.
The Destroyers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where's my news here? Here's a good one. The source code from Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike Go leaked earlier in the week. This story is still all up in the air. The initial reporting, the source code, again, no one is sure if it leaked recently or leaked in 2017. Is just being repurposed now, but anyways, the source code for Team Fortress 2 and CSGO leaked, and the initial reporting was, if you even launch Team Fortress 2 and connect to a multiplayer server, that's all it takes. You just need to be connected to online Team Fortress 2, and apparently a huge security vulnerability opens up in your computer. Valve got out there and said, hey everybody, you can keep playing CSGO. CSGO is safe. We're pretty sure that's fine. Did not mention a single fucking thing about Team Fortress, which is highly suspicious, because that was the one people were like, yeah, don't play Team Fortress right now. They put out a tweet today that says, we have no reason to believe Team Fortress is compromised, but we're going to keep looking into it. Which is not super reassuring, but...
do with that what you will.
Yeah, do with that what you will. Word to the kind of tech savvy. TF2 and CSGO are maybe massive security vulnerabilities right now. So install at your own risk. This is the last Matt Eads story. Did anybody check out Travis Scott's Fortnite concert?
So let me tell you about stupid I thought that was.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
It's only like 11 minutes.
It looked really dumb. The whole shot of like him being like super big on the stage or whatever for anybody who's watched Silicon Valley, there's near the end of it where one of the douchiest characters in the show has that at a music festival where they like make a huge sky high like hologram version of him, and it's all I could think of the whole time I'm watching that. I'm just like, this is the stupidest. Like, stop it. I know this isn't a video game, but like, I just like that the whole like giant hologram thing is like the douchiest thing on the planet. I absolutely want one of myself one day, but it's just, I don't know. It's dumb.
Did you see my giant hologram of? I'll have more to say next week on Xenoverse 2. Did you see my giant hologram statue of Pizzicolo that it makes you build when you start that game? Like, would you like to put a statue up to your Xenoverse 1 character?
I will argue that that's the best part of Xenoverse 2 is building that character, and then it's downhill from there.
So it's a terrible game. Seeing all the names, like, thrilling. That's funny. Sorry, anyways. Travis Scott's little Fortnite concert. Very, very similar to, Kevin, I don't know if you remember the Adventure Quest 3D Corn concert. That
I absolutely remember that.
We took in. Basically the exact same thing, except I don't think, from what I watched somebody go through it, it didn't seem like you were playing Fortnite while you were watching the concert. You were watching the concert. I don't know if you could shoot other players. It didn't seem like it.
I think it was more like Marshmallow, right?
What's Marshmallow? Sorry.
They did that. They did that Marshmallow concert a long time ago. It was kind of the first one. It might have been after the Corn one.
Oh, yes.
It was the first Fortnite one. And it was basically like, everyone just hop in here and watch this Marshmallow show. I thought that one was actually really, I like Marshmallow.
Excuse me. So this was kind of like that, and then, it was big giant Travis Scott. He did a few songs or whatever. There's actually like a really cool, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a cinematic almost, where it seems like the world explodes while you're watching that concert. The world explodes around you, and you're just in the void. And then Travis Scott with his music, like Outer Wilds style, remakes the world in front of you. And then it like bursts into life, and then you're just dumped in and you're playing Fortnite from what it looked like, because then this person was like building and shooting people.
That's cool.
It actually looked really cool. Yeah, somebody who doesn't give a fuck about Fortnite and has never heard of Travis Scott until today's podcast. It seemed really dope.
I like the whole idea of what they're doing with that. I think it's a neat idea, having kind of like the in-game concerts. I'm probably so against it because I don't like Travis Scott. So that might have a lot to do with it. But that whole idea is cool, though. I think it's neat that they're doing those things. But
I do not like Fortnite, but I really like that there is a video game in the world big enough that they keep doing this dumb shit.
Yeah, I look at it and it makes me kind of wish that I was semi good at that game, so I'd feel the desire to hop in and kind of take in these things when they happen. But it is cool. It's unique and it's cool. So despite the fact that I think that it was super douchey looking, the concept itself is kind of awesome. So I didn't know there was a Marshmallow one. Why don't you tell me about that, Brando? I would have been all over that.
That was like years and years ago, I think now, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would say year and maybe year ago.
Let's see. Fortnite.
I would say closer to 1 year than 2 years.
February 2019. So yeah, definitely. Almost split the difference.
I would have way rather had, if I was picking, if one of them had to be a super giant version of themselves, I think Marshmallow is a way better super giant version of himself.
I agree.
Maybe he just turns into a douche. The power goes to his head. Little mortals. Starts grabbing people.
I have to imagine Marshmallow is a douche already.
Oh, absolutely. All those guys are. But it would have been like great if like maybe like he started growing and then like his body started growing, but then like the marshmallow head kept going and he's like, oh no, and then it like fell over.
Like a marshmallow in the microwave. It just keeps going and going and going.
He's like, oh no, what do I do?
Arcing around the edges.
Yeah.
Fuck, remember marshmallows? Remember fires?
No.
Remember Friends? Remember seeing each other in real life?
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Fuck.
We're gonna go camping this summer. We're going camping this summer. I've already decided I'm becoming one with nature.
My folks are that's where they're quarantining out at their lake lot, which doesn't sound half bad.
That sounds dope.
They should not use the word. They should not use the word.
Matt Eads hit Andy in the face with a hot dog from fucking 20 yards at last time I went camping. Like a ninja star.
Remember those
fucking
old people?
Raw weenie.
Fucking rolled up
him in the face.
Trying to buy homemade jam from us.
I remember that part.
Fuck, that was fun. We were drunk, weren't we?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't think Andy was at that camping trip.
Were you not at Fort Summer Jam? I think Andy was.
No, I was at Fort Summer Jam.
Because we had Fort Summer Jams.
Yeah.
We were only there for a night though. Maybe it happened a different time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You guys rolled in for one night. That's right.
Yeah, but we did come to Fort Summer Jam because I remember the shitty sign you made.
Yeah.
Which is also awesome.
Oh, that shitty sign brought 2 potential customers into our lot to buy jam that we weren't actually making or selling because they totally misinterpreted what a summer jam is. Summer jam is, it's something you snap your fingers to. It's not something you spread on toast.
Yeah,
it's incredible though that you attracted people into there.
Where's Fort Summer?
A shitty sign.
These 2 people who must be like 60, like they're retired, like wandering around. They're like, "Where's Fort Summer?" And Kevin is so low, he's like, "Right here," and just fucking points at himself. And then they left.
Jesus.
And like you explained to them, they're like,
that was a really
like,
fun
we
trip.
don't actually sell jam here. It's just the jams they're playing. They're like, fucking Fort Summer corn, selling corn, you dickheads.
They just walked away.
Our rivals, Fort Summer corn.
Yeah. Fuck you, Fort Summer corn.
I can't wait to go out and
we should
all summer at Fort Summer Jam and literally never come back to the city until September.
If the times are better, we should fucking definitely get out of the city for a few days. So that's going to wrap the Matt Eads news section of this podcast. We're doing something a little different here where the whole point of this was to stop this news section from it turning into me talking for 45 minutes, then I talk for 45 minutes straight. But anyways, we all pulled a few news stories, and everyone's going to read their news stories. Brando, you're next up on the list. Why don't you take it away?
I have the best one.
Hit us with it. This is going to take a little while to unpack. But we're prepared for that. We're going to have the discussion. We're going to have the conversation that we have. We're going to take the time. I think this is a serious thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of corporate, you might argue espionage going on here. There's some higher level stuff going on here. But I'm here to tell you, at least at the base level, everyone's favorite game, Red Dead Redemption 2, is coming to Game Pass on May the 7th. Questions.
Nailed it.
That's a perfect story.
That's the story. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
I'll tell you right now.
Moving on.
I'll tell you right now. That took me only 20 seconds
that
to say.
That one was accidental. I'm sorry about that last one.
More people will care about that news story than any other news story on this cast.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, buddy. That's
should have led with it.
That is certainly a headline.
Breaking news.
So it's a game about cowboys.
Okay.
I'm going to pad this out at all.
You can get it going. Andy, I assigned you a beat this week. News. What does that make me? Editor-in-chief? I guess. I don't really know how news works.
I can't believe you took this away from me.
I'm an editor if you assign him a story.
That was mine. That was mine.
This?
You weren't supposed to say that.
Oh. I mean, I can edit that out.
The story.
I'll edit that out. Let's take it from the top here. In 3, 2. All right, Andy, hit us with whatever you've been really excited to see what story you dug up for us this week. You've been on the streets, the video game streets. What do you got for us?
Matt Eads, when you came to me today and you said, hey, boys, I want to change this up a little bit. I want to get everybody picking some stories. Can you guys bring something to the table? I instantly dropped literally everything I was doing at work and got on board with this. And I totally mean that as well, too. Like the rest of the stuff I had to get done during the day, in the trash. Nookazon or Nookazon or Nookazon. How do you pronounce it?
Nookazon, like Amazon. Why? Hang on. Kevin and Brando are freaking out in a way that... Are you guys disconnecting?
No, we both just lost everything. You just disconnected both of us from whatever was happening, and then now that we're back on this screen, everything's good.
Yeah.
Oh, you think... Wait, hang on. You think if I do this...
Are you guys gone now? Oh, yeah, I can't hear anybody if anybody's talking.
Oh, it's all me and Andy now. Oh. Yeah, let's talk about Nookazon here, buddy. Fuck these guys.
I will say that I'm not even going to cover up the fact that I'm an idiot. I did not get that that's what they were going for, but that's genius. So
Amazon, Nookazon.
I'm not even going to try to hide that. That's awesome. So Nookazon, what this is it's an Animal Crossing website that users can use to go and trade in-game items, and literally any item. Like you got fossils, you got your clothing, you got your pants, you got your socks, you DIY recipes. Whatever you want to trade on Nookazon based off of Amazon, you can do that on this website with other users in the Animal Crossing universe.
It even
it's incredible. And
like if you just boot
why
the
is it called
website,
Nookazon?
Amazon.
If you if you boot up the website, like even just the way it looks, like it has a real aesthetic to it, and
when I found this story myself today and did not have it sent to me by a fellow podcaster, the first thing I thought to myself was, this website is on point. Like, it is sharp. It looks good. I played around with it for a little bit. And I was
icon is a little spinning Tom Nook head.
It's legit shit. This isn't somebody who just learned code 2 days ago and threw this thing together in their mother's basement. Like, they knew what they were doing when they put this thing together. It's awesome. Like, it's incredible how much. It's incredible how much of a community has developed with this and like how much effort they're actually putting into it. So,
it's also
we wrote a bunch of random stuff in the story. I got to filter through here and get to the things that actually matter. Go ahead, Eads.
It's also like a marketplace unto itself, where like, because people are putting things up of the same item. So I'm looking at ancient statues for right now. I can tell you the price for ancient statues across all of Nookazon, and that will inevitably trickle down into Animal Crossing economics. Apparently they're about 4,980 bells. You want to buy an ancient statue here. And they got real and fake, whichever one you want.
It's crazy.
Fake one.
It's so fucking crazy.
It's nuts how structured it's become in such a short period of time. Like what it looks like. Like it looks like something that's taken a couple of years to put together and perfect, but everybody's just seems to have it down pat.
Like you rate sellers based on how your interaction went, and it's crazy. Apparently
finds a way.
Cosmos Black, very expensive flower I'm looking at right now. 1 million bells they're asking for it.
Yeah, rare one. I say that like I know, but I don't. So you did ask me today. You're like, hey Andy, here, since you found this cool story all on your own, do you want to like maybe look into trying to sell something or trying to buy something? And you have to set up a bit of an account, and I didn't really want to do that today, so I didn't bother getting into that. But I guess it's all through Discord. So there's some sort of a Discord group that you join. You have to make a legit profile. This isn't like a Reddit thread of you messaging somebody to come over. Like you have to make a profile, you have to put your island information in it, and a bunch of other stuff, and then you can start posting things to sell. And yeah, it's just, even on the site itself and other sites talking about it, they have tips on what to watch out for in terms of how people act when they come to your island if they're trying to scam you. They tell you how to set up your island so that you don't get scammed. So like setting up fences around your airport to hold people in, and setting up actual stations, like setting up actual buying stations so you can properly make the transactions and make sure somebody doesn't come to your island and just take your stuff. And make sure they don't come to your island and like destroy things or take stuff, as I like to do, which I have not been shy about admitting on this podcast. And it's crazy how much of a community this has developed. It's impressive. Like I, at first looking at it, I was like, oh, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm never going to do this. After looking into it and how kind of well put together it is, I'm like, yeah, I want to friggin' save up 1 million bells and get myself some whatever those flowers are you said.
Cosmos Black.
I feel like it's a very loose definition of community, when part of the community is put fences up so people can't steal your shit.
It just, there's
you're keeping out the bad apples. You got to keep the bad apples out of the community, because you're going to get those rotten dickheads who come in there and they're trying to destroy your community. Well, we've all seen Hot Fuzz. We know what happens when that goes down, and that's what's going to happen in Animal Crossing as well too.
Crusty jugglers.
Yep. It's cool. I was blown away by that. And also too, I thought to myself, wow, the community of Animal Crossing is doing online better than the people that made the game. Isn't that something?
Where's my badum-tis? Hey, Nintendo? You guys need any village? I'm looking at villagers right now. I love the idea that one of the, the make your own fun is a shitty way to put it. One of the kind of paths you can give yourself in Animal Crossing now is, I'm just gonna become like a Nookazon magnate. I'm gonna buy and sell and trade, just like real eBay or Amazon. I'm just gonna be a businessman on Nookazon.
Yeah, don't cross the Nookazon picket line.
Andy, do you need villagers? I really want to watch you. You should stream you buying something. I'm so fascinated by this thing, or selling something one day.
I don't know if anybody would have the patience who watch me going through the process of trying to put that together and go buy something from someone's island.
I
do want to try it.
I'll tell you right now, someone would have the patience to watch you get mad trying to do it.
That's true. I'd get pretty angry, yeah.
Look at Barreled. For the low price, Andy, of... Hang on, the Nook head is spinning. I can tell you in a second. 1 Coco, 1 Meringue, 1 Dizzy, 1 Eric, 1 Stitches, and 10 Nook Miles. Oh, and 70,000 bells. You could have Barreled, the lazy cub villager who was born on March the 2nd, and his star sign is Pisces. He loves the song My Place.
What does he look like?
Yeah, he looks dope. He looks real dope.
All right, I don't like this site anymore because buying and selling villagers is not okay.
Animal trafficking.
Yes.
Hey, have you seen the guy that runs the Animal Crossing universe? If you haven't met him, his name's Tom Nook. I'm sure he has no problem with what's going on anywhere on that website.
The guy with
that man does not care whatsoever. What was that guy's name again? Barreled?
Barreled. B. It's like Harold with a B because he's a bear. Oh boy, that's my new son.
The land's better when you.
Yeah.
The land's better when you walk me through it.
Nailed it.
So I googled barreled. I got a picture of a barrel. You can't even see that. Doesn't even matter. No. Anyways, I'll look it up. That sounds cool. He sounds like a great guy.
Kevin, here's with your news story.
So top story of the week, running last for time purposes. So there was a charity game of NHL 20 that was played between Wayne Gretzky and Alexander Ovechkin. They raised a bunch of money for some COVID relief efforts.
Are those like esports players or?
Yes, they are. They're esports players.
I guess technically now.
So the NHL, much like a lot of sporting events, have been shut down for the year due to everything that's going on. So the NHL and Electronic Arts have partnered together to produce a series where they will have players from each NHL team squaring off against players from other NHL teams playing NHL 20. They plan on doing it twice a week. And they're over the course of however many weeks they do this, they're going to be donating $100,000 to charity. And some of these games are going to be playing on NBC Sports, on live TV. They are play-by-play announced by the Los Angeles Kings play-by-play guy who does their live games and everything.
I bet they love that. I bet that every single one of those broadcasts doesn't start with those guys being like, "What the? I didn't spend 50 fucking years, whatever, to talk about fucking video bullshit." If I know anything,
it seems like they would totally be all over it.
Yeah, I bet
exactly.
I bet whoever's in charge was like, "Hey guys, don't be shitheads about this," but the professional sports audience famously is so fucking against anything video games. Like, you remember that day? I don't know if anyone remember, but that was a very arrogant way to start a story. There was a day a few years ago where I went on it was a video games day at the radio station, so I went on the radio station to talk about video games with...
yeah, you're on TSN, right?
That's right. Jason Strudswick and whatever that other guy's name is. He's a real dick.
Jason Greger.
Yes.
Jason Greger, yeah.
And they called me Mike Eads. Hey, thanks, Mike. The like public response to that immediately after, and granted, the person they had in before me was apparently like a 16-year-old YouTuber, and I don't know what the Jasons were thinking with their audience, but the comments and commentary about that, and even just like I just had a very general talk about like what streaming on the internet is, and I thought I was very eloquent. People don't want anything to do with video games. There is a, I don't want to say boomers. There's an old generation out there that thinks video games are for kids. They're trash. They're garbage. They're waste of money. And to even consider them on the same league as real sports, how dare you? How dare you? There is a massive outcry to that.
They're not really playing it up as the sports angle, though. They're playing it up as more of a fun little thing to do. The thing that kind of catalyzed it was the Wayne Gretzky Ovechkin game, where they just played a couple games against each other, raised a bunch of money. I don't know if it was streamed or if it was recorded and played after the fact. I don't really know about that. I couldn't really find that information. But Gretzky
they streamed it.
Quoted. Was it streamed? Okay. Gretzky quoted afterwards when he was asked about it. He's like, "We are both not very good at this game, and hopefully everyone's having a little bit of enjoyment laughing at us."
See, that's fun.
So the little bit that I watched, they are clearly not good. They probably have only ever played NHL 20 that same day when they were getting ready to do this event. But yeah, they played it a bit, and it was rather entertaining for what I watched. Gretzky won one of the games, and Ovechkin won the second game. Rumor has it there was supposed to be a third game to break the tie, but they mutually decided that one win apiece and being equally great would be acceptable to them.
Play them rubber nerds.
So I watched the last half of that stream, and for the whole last part of it of that last game, they kept talking about how they were going to decrease the amount that they were going to continue playing. So for like that second game, they were just like, well, we'll just make the periods 4 minutes. And then they got, I think they were like in the second period or whatever. And they're like, after this period, we're just going to go to a shootout. We'll just decide the game through a shootout. Ovechkin was up by like 3 over Gretzky.
And
then like before the period
That's
ended,
how you do it.
Before the period ended, Gretzky or somebody was just like, or Ovechkin was just like, yeah, we're not going to do the shootout. And Gretzky was just like, yeah, Ovi and me will match donations for what everybody contributed. And then we're going to give that same amount to both cities and everybody's going to be happy and we'll all be equal and it'll be all good. So it was like watching somebody, you just saw the whole process of Gretzky slowly not wanting to play anymore. And then him just taking away stuff that he didn't want to do anymore. And then eventually... Like everybody in the chat,
can I just throw some money at this problem so that I can turn the game off and stop playing?
Like he was so fired up about doing the shoot.
Ovechkin's in his 30s. I want to say he's like 3 or 4 years older than me, and
probably played some chill.
At least somewhat grown up with it. Gretzky is just probably like, I don't even fucking know what is going on right now.
He was doing the week
of
commercials.
Something beside me to tell me which button's which.
Gretzky's 3D hockey.
Yeah.
This has anyone? I mean, we don't follow NASCAR, but has anyone caught any of the? They took NASCAR and moved it competitive. It is the competitive NASCAR league. It is all online now because I guess virtual NASCAR racing in a with a wheel is pretty similar.
Probably get that closer to realism than any other sport in the world. Probably.
Yeah. I don't give two fucking shits about NASCAR and really not even about eNASCAR. But the stories of like the first one that I remember, I even have it pulled up here. So in NASCAR, obviously you don't hit each other, right? People will die. That is a very serious thing in real racing. Playing online, not such a big deal. Where I guess there was a little bit. Some people traded paint, and somebody was taken out of the race, and so to get back at the person who got him, he just fucking cranked his car into him, like obviously and on purpose. Yeah. I'm trying to see who this is. This is
the very essence of NASCAR, like not doing that in NASCAR, comes because you yourself
will die.
Are trying to keep yourself alive.
You will die. Bubba Wallace is the person who got smashed into, and he then rage quit.
If there was a way for NASCAR drivers in real life to sideswipe another car and still get out and maintain their position, they would totally do it anyway.
100%.
Oh yeah.
So he quits the match. He gets slammed into. He says something. I'm trying to see if they have what he says because he's really fucking shitty about it. But he says something about like fuck this. I don't have time to play with kids or whatever, and then quits the match, which is a like live televised thing on Fox One, Fox FS1 and the Fox Sports app. So going on to millions.
In fairness, in real racing, he'd be done anyway.
That's true. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he quits the race.
In real racing.
Puts out all these tweets, which I would love to pull from this story. I just saw it because they're so fucking shitty. Says, "Bahaha, I'm dying at my mentions right now. I ruined so many people's day by quitting ... a video game ... Bahaha, a video game. Damn, quarantine life is rough. Like crying, laughing face 3 times. Face with tears of joy, it says 3 times. His sponsor, Blue Emu, immediately, within 1 minute, responded and said, GTK where you stand, bye-bye, Bubba, we're not interested. We're interested in drivers, not quitters. So his sponsor dropped him over Twitter after he was being a shithead about his rage quit. And then the next week, in another race, somebody's spotter, which the whole concept of an online, like a spotter in an online race is crazy to me. But somebody's spotter, I guess, did a bad job. Like, someone's like, hey, am I clear to, I don't know, lane change? I don't know what a spotter really does, but I think they check your blind spot for you. I'm like, yo, am I good to do this move? And the spotter was like, yep. The guy wasn't good, hit another car, and then called that man an N-word live on the stream.
Oh, yeah.
and there was a big fucking silence, and the other players were like, dude, you're talking, like, it was that whole, like, hey, you know we can hear you now, right? And another guy chimes in. Yeah, another guy chimes in is like, yeah, we all heard that, we're live. And then just like, what do you even do? I mean, don't be a racist, obviously, would be a good first step. But the drama around the eNASCAR League is way more interesting than I think NASCAR's ever been.
Well, you get to hear more of the behind-the-scenes stuff, it seems like.
Some
going on.
Really interesting shit as everybody acclimates to this new world we live in.
I love that whoever sent out that tweet complaining got dumped by their sponsor instantly, because every piece of punctuation and emoji that they used in that tweet just screams someone who's a child. So
yeah, go fuck yourself.
Oh, I hate the anytime somebody has a message or a tweet where they send out multiple like laughy cry face emojis trying to act like they're not offended by something, just immediately shows signs of, yeah, you are losing sleep over what happened to you and you are not okay with what went down. Like you're losing you're going insane right now.
Kyle Larson was the one who uttered the slur and has since been dropped by his sponsors and iRacing, the video game they are playing it through. You can read more about that story by yourself if you're interested. Yeah, the online sports leagues, the physical sports going to online leagues with NASCAR, anyways, the racing leagues.
There's like 5 different NHL streams that are like simulating the playoffs right now, and I like can never like
which one's
like
canon?
Radio stations doing one, and the local United Cycle is doing one, and maybe they're all the same. I don't know, but they don't seem like they are, because every now and then I'll look and it'll be like, Calgary's up, winning this game, and then I'll go to another one and it'll be like, Edmonton hasn't been losing yet this series, and I'm like, oh,
we're very good.
Well, that's one to watch. I like the United Cycle one. That's Nielsen from TSN 1260 is doing that.
Okay, so those might be the same one.
Yeah, they might be the same one, but he's been. I like that they're doing the commentary over it. Like it kept me invested listening to his commentary, because he's like having some ridiculous fun with it and doing like super stupid sponsors and being like, well, tonight's 50-50 jackpot that doesn't actually exist is now at $2 million. Will somebody win tonight? Send your numbers in the comments. And it just keeps carrying over.
Yeah, gotta have
so
fun
I like
with it.
Yeah.
Podcast at talkingreckless.com is an email address. You can write in here to the show, or you can try to drop voicemails on our Discord, or you can leave text over on our subreddit, r/talkingreckless. This came in from the email. Alec wrote in and said, this is in regards to your story last week, Brando. He says, Brando's small world story with the food delivery driver reminded me of my favorite small world moment, which happens to be gaming related. My friends and I used to play a lot of Red Orchestra 2. Whenever we'd play, there would be a good chance a player by the name of, I'm going to guess it's pronounced Baki, B-A-K-K-E, would join the German team. Baki was great. He would always yell in the most perfect German. He would call out enemy positions in German. He would alert us to incoming artillery in German. And if you asked nicely, he would even talk about any topic you'd give him in German. Over the course of who knows how many games, we'd only heard him speak a single sentence in English. At some point, I sent him a friend request on Steam so we could try to hop on the game at the same time as him. Months later, we'd stopped playing Red Orchestra 2, and I was kind of curious what Baki was up to, so I checked my friends list to see if he'd been online recently. Baki was nowhere to be found, but someone had changed their name to the town. Someone had changed their name to the name of the small town grocery store I shop at in bumfuck nowhere to grab donuts on the way to work. I checked the name history, and sure enough, it was Baki. Apparently, these two lived in the same small bumfuck nowhere town. I messaged him about it, and we had a good laugh. I never did get to meet him in person. I just always found it amusing that a random guy on the internet yelling in German happened to work, in the same small part of bumfuck nowhere, Wisconsin that I did. Has gaming given you any small world moments? Thank you, Alec. That is a great story, Alec.
Nothing as good as that.
Whoa. I think he said nothing as good as that. We had a little internet hiccup.
Yeah. Nothing as good as that story.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
There was one time, I think it was you, Warren, and I, we were playing Destiny, and there was that one guy we were playing with, and we found out that he was, I think it might have been, he was even from Sherwood Park, and we were like, oh, and then somehow we got into the conversation about Warren and I being on the radio, and he might have said he listened to The Bear and like might have been mind blown by it, and then Warren was just like, oh, you ever listen to Hot 107? Andy Captain? You ever hear about Andy Captain? Just like this guy's just like, no.
Always,
no,
Andy's always a bridesmaid, never a bride, eh?
Yeah, but just like, but it's just, Warren's just the type of person that'll just like lay into somebody. Oh, you've never heard of Andy before? What? And then I'm just sitting there like,
Park and you don't listen to Hot 107?
Shut the fuck up, Warren. I don't want. And he hates when people do that to him too. So he's terrible
because he knows that it gets you.
Yeah, it sucks. But so I remember that. It's that's probably about as small world of a moment as I've ever had. But yeah, I just remember that frigging guy.
Yeah, no, I specifically remember the time we were playing with those people and we were like, oh shit, you're from Sherwood Park. That's fucked. What are the odds of that happening? But I think, yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah, I've definitely had a few of those where like, oh, we're from the same town. Weird. I don't know. My like small world moments have been intentional where like, you play a game with somebody, Craig, who was our cameraman at E3, was somebody that I just met through playing video games and broadcasting them on the internet. But that was a thing where like, we got in touch with each other and I was like, hey, I need a camera guy. Do you want to come do this? Okay, cool. Here's a flight, whatever. I don't know anything. Yeah, no, this wouldn't have been Ref Craig. This is a different Craig. This is Craig Kasecki.
Oh.
The Lost Craig. Yeah, I can't really think of any, like, super small world. I met this is not gaming, but when I went to Disneyland as a kid, which was a surprise to us as a kid, we didn't know we were going to Disneyland, and surprised we showed up to Disneyland. Our literal next door neighbors were in line behind us at the fucking big-ass loop-de-loop roller coaster they had at Disneyland.
That's fucked. Like, that kind of stuff. Taking it away from video games feels like it happens to me a lot. Like I feel like I have a lot of small world moments. They're just not video game related. Because I've even had like ones at Disney World. And this is not as crazy as that because it's people that you saw at Disney. But there's people who have like run into at our hotel at Disney World, and then I've seen them like 15 times at a different park. Where I'm like, how are you everywhere I go?
Orlando's big. Get out of here.
Fucking weirdos, get lost.
Giant parks out here.
Jackasses, what are you doing? Go away. Like we get the same map.
I had a similar story to Eads's there where I was like 12 years old or something, and our family was road tripping through the States, and we pulled over at some campsite off of the highway in Montana, Dakota, I don't know, one of the ones directly south of Alberta, whatever the state is directly south of Alberta.
Montana.
West Dakota.
Montana, yeah. And yeah, we pull into this campsite, literally just random campsite on the side of the highway. Plan on staying there for 2 nights or one. I don't even really remember. And one of my best friends from elementary school and his whole family happened to be staying at that exact same tiny highway campsite at the exact same time we were.
That one's even more fun. At least Disneyland is like a big hub where people go, and it's not crazy that someone else is there at the same time you are. Random campsite, that's super crazy.
Yeah, we
even have run into people
both of our families
in, like, airports.
Yeah. Both of our families were only planning on staying a couple days, and then when we saw that we knew each other and it was just so random, both of us changed it to a 1-week vacation. We all just stayed there for a week together.
Fated.
But yeah, the only other really thing is, Eads, you and I have had a couple podcast run-ins with people over the years at various restaurants.
Yeah, that's always upsetting.
we had breakfast bought for us one time by
We don't know.
we don't know. Yeah, they were embarrassed. They didn't want to interrupt us.
It was
After the
somebody's
fact,
mother.
We would love, somebody's
I remember
mom.
the note was like, "My sons love yous. Here's breakfast on us." And they're like, "What?"
What?
Bye.
Like looking around
Yeah.
the restaurant. Like, who the what? And that was weird.
And then I remember another time we were at the burger place in West Ed. It was before we were going to see a movie. I don't remember what movie it was, but there was a whole bunch of us at this burger place in West Ed. And then somebody called Eads over and said, "Hey, man, I know you from the podcast. You're great." And I'm like sitting right beside you. And I turn around and I look at him. I'm like, "What? You don't know who I am either?"
I actually kind of think I remember that now.
I got super offended.
Was it
No, I don't
Brando?
think
I
it
don't
was
know.
I was gonna say I definitely ran into you guys at first round once.
Yeah.
Before I was on the
Oh,
podcast.
shit, maybe it was you then,
It's
guy.
it happens. It used to happen more when I was like
Yeah.
going out in the world,
It
man.
was me.
It would happen occasionally, and I was always like, I say weirded out. Or my eyes are like randomly watering. I say weirded
this is an
out.
emotional
It's an emotional moment. Just because I'm a weirdo and like don't know how to act around people ever in normal circumstances, and people are like, "Oh my goodness, I love the podcast" or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." Oh fuck, I better think of something really interesting to say to this person. And it usually never goes well because I'm a tire fire. Ask Meat. Meat has met me in real life a few times, and I'm a fucking hot mess face to face.
While we're on podcast stories, back when we were doing the Stat Pod, I said, I wouldn't say jokingly, but certainly said with no inclination of anyone following through on this.
It's a good story.
But we were talking about how it was my birthday was coming up, and I was like, yeah, we're going to I think it was the Tilted Kilt at that point. But it might have been the Brew. I want to say Tilted Kilt. Well, yeah, we're going to the Tilted Kilt. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday. You're all welcome to join. LOL.
You just put that out there on the podcast.
Let's put that out there on the podcast. And then I was there. Warren wouldn't have been there because I think I was the only person on the podcast at that point. But there was some people there. Some of the early people who I was going with before they left. I think even my mom might have still been there, buying me a beer. And this guy shows up and like, "Hey, Brandon." And I'm like, "Hey." I'd never before in my life.
Hey,
And
you.
he sits down at the table. Yeah, sits down at the table, and we're having this conversation. And I'm good at having conversations with people, so I'm being like polite and being like, "Oh yeah, it's good, good seeing you. Good, how do you like the show and everything? And always nice to meet someone who's into what we're doing." And he buys me a drink and everything. We're having these conversations. He's talking to other people at the table, and then he goes to the bathroom, and they're like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's like a fan of our podcast." And they're like, "You know him?" And I was like, "This is the first time I've ever met him." And everyone's like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like,
you just had to explain to them that you're a huge celebrity and this is how it goes when people know you, and these guys used to
I
it.
think me telling him that then made it like super uncomfortable after that.
Mm,
Because after that, everyone was kind of like, "What's going on?" Whereas before, everyone was like, "Oh, this is a guy Brandon knows. Let's all fucking talk to this guy."
Yeah. Why would this guy do this? Like, if it makes it weird, then yeah.
Yeah.
especially if they don't maybe know you're on a podcast, or maybe what a podcast is, and you have to have this. Well, it's kind of like a radio show. And,
No, because they knew that because he was talking about how he was a fan of the show. But I don't think he ever got far enough to be like, "I know you exclusively through this show."
people
I
thought
they
he was
just thought this was some like
People thought he was like-
some guy who knows me over here, but also is a fan of the show.
the show. CTV. He's like, "Oh, Brando shot this. I recognize the artistry. I'm a big fan. Big fan of your cinematography. Big fan of your work."
So that was super weird. Nice guy though.
That's a great story. Yeah. And everyone that I've ever interacted with too, super nice people. I'm just, like I say, I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm the opposite of Brando. I'm bad at small talk. I'm bad at all big talk. I need a mic in front of me. I'm like, see, Andy, you and I,
All right.
hot messes. What is even? Are you all right? What is happening? You drop a
Just
hammer
dropped
on your
a
foot?
giant fucking jug of water on the floor.
Oh, he's got to leave.
Well,
There he goes. Podcast, talkingreckless.com is the email address. Alec, thank you very much for your email. Feel free to join us on the... I don't know what's going on over there. Join us on the show as we all get
Brando,
comfy.
you're being too sexy right now. You need to stop.
It's just about time for bed here as Brando tucks himself in. My eyes are just watering. Like I'm like literally crying over here. But I don't know why. I know.
Yeah, like you're visually right now.
They're streaming. My eyes are just streaming. And I don't know why.
Brando.
Do I have allergies?
What's wrong with the Eads?
These are real tears, you guys. These are real tears. I can cry on command. I've always said that I can cry on command, and I'm proving it right now. It's stopping crying on command that's the hard part.
Are you sad this podcast is over?
Yes, Andy! It's hard.
Let me tell you more about Nookazon.
No, this has been a fucking 4-hour podcast. We got to get this thing done.
Hold on. Is that like loosely based off like the Google store or something else?
Yeah, well, it's based off of like, you ever been to Oxen.com? OKZON. I can't stop it. Podcast.talkingreckless.com is the email address. You can drop them on our Discord if you can. I don't know. He lifted up his shirt, I think, and then the camera froze. But we're on our way out here, so you drop us on our Discord. Just go to talkingreckless.com. You can find everything we do now at talkingreckless.com. The website doesn't look like total shit anymore. It's a little plain, but it's functional. Go check all our stuff out there. We do a Westworld podcast called Westworld FM right here on this very feed. We are 2 episodes away from the finale, so tune into that. That is wrapping up fast and loose, as we say on that show. We do a D&D show called Rolling Reckless every Sunday, including this Sunday. I got some
Just rolled the 13.
You want to go? I just rolled a natural one. Fuck. Join us for that though on Sundays. I usually roll a little bit better. And if you have a Twitch Prime sub, here's your reminder that those subs don't renew themselves. Or I guess, sorry, the way to say it is you have Amazon Prime. You have a free Prime. Fuck me. You have a free Twitch Prime sub. They do not renew themselves though, so you have to kind of remember to re-up them every so often. So if you do have one just sitting there and you'd like to use it on twitch.tv/talkingrecklesspodcast, I would very much appreciate that. Otherwise, you're just giving a free $2.50 to the literal richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos. So don't do that.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. I think that's all I got to say. Other
Jeff.
than if you enjoyed this madness, want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/talkingrecklesspodcast. This was a real banger, boys. Heck of a show. Thank you very much, Andrew Captain, for... I'm just going to check our runtime here before we do it.
Fucking 8 hours.
3 hours, yeah, shit. Thank you very much for this meaty, almost 3-hour show, Andy.
Feel free to visit me on Kappa Rock and check out my Nookazon store.
You probably can't give out a dodo code or anything, hey? People could probably, like, mess your shit up.
You're a dodo.
Is there real talk, though, is there any way that, like, is there a code you can give where people can check your island out, or no? Because then they can.
I would have to. Well, let me tell you about how Nintendo Online works, Seeds. It's too complicated.
We don't have time. We do not have time to unpack that. All right. Brandon Lynch, thank you very much for, again, this massive, full, firm show. Kevin Byer, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you at home, thanks so much for listening. We'll be back here about a week. We'll do episode 317 of Talking Reckless Podcast. We'll see you then.